Yellow Cubs fans, and welcome. It's another watch along. We're back again, even though our luck has been absolutely piss poor, but that's neither here nor there. I am Ron Luce, I'm joined by two of the beauties here today, Mr. Tyler Edmonds and Mr. Nick Hudson. Gentlemen, how are we doing on this watch along Thursday?
Fantastic.
Ron, guys, I am great. I just hope, like you said, we can just change it up a little bit. I'm pretty sure our record on watch alongs, I think we've won one game during a watch along.
Pretty bad. Yep.
I think we're like 1-6.
So, and that one game was the Mets game with the play at the plate.
Mm-hmm. That's
So,
the only
yeah.
one.
Let's. I'm good though. I'm here.
Honestly,
just Justin Steele's pitching today. So,
Amen to that, man.
just
Yeah.
let the game be competitive. Because when we're on here, sometimes it's a blowout.
We have seen some
Yeah.
real
Just let it be
shit-ass games on
competitive to
these
the
things.
end. Yeah.
I fully
Yeah.
support that. Well, it's good to see you guys. The last watch along we did was substantially myself and Juice, which is good. We get a little bit of a switcheroo and get some different voices in here, especially because I'm sure people are tired of hearing my voice. Speaking of things I'm tired of, I don't know what
No,
the fuck's
they're
going on
not.
here with this hair, but I'm tired of my own voice, Tyler. That's the problem.
Ron,
better.
you have the voice that would represent the songbird of a generation. So don't let anyone tell you otherwise.
I concur.
Okay.
You're too kind, but I appreciate the nice words,
Yeah.
even though it's
I can
far from the truth, but-
I can listen to you talk, like when you talk, like when you do solo shows, like there's some people that do solo shows out there and on other shows that just but Ron Luce, I can listen to a Ron Luce solo show 8 days out of the week. So
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
that. But guys, I think this isn't the first watch along that we have with Justin Steele on the bump. It feels like
yes,
it might be.
is. I believe it is.
I
So
believe
that's
so.
exciting, right? I mean,
It
that's
is.
got to be exciting in its own right.
Yeah. I think Ron, me and you was at Steele's start against the Braves.
Pirates.
Pirates. Yeah, the
Yeah,
Pirates.
we were in attendance for that one. Yeah.
And I just missed his Cincinnati start at Cincinnati by like 1 day, or no, what day was it? He pitched on a Friday, and
Yeah, but
I just
you-
so happened to be. I was at SmackDown. That night. Just snapping necks, taking names. Didn't come home with the title, but I missed it. But yeah.
Hey, it's okay. Rickus says it's our second Steele start. I'm going to trust Rickus because Rickus has been
Okay.
here
Well,
in a lot of these lately. But
Yeah.
it feels good. This one feels a little more optimistic. I'm trying to think of when we would have crossed paths with Mr. Steele before. Oh, we did. There was a Steele start. Yeah. I'm thinking, you know how I keep track of who's on the bump is through the graphics that I make for the thumbnails. And it was the Atlanta start, Tyler, that we were on for a watch along.
Gotcha.
It was the Atlanta start. That was the one. Chris Cole jumping in says, "Hey guys, he went to the game Tuesday night. He lives in Central Florida. It was the second Cubs game, both on the road. That's
And as
awesome.
we say that, he already
Nice.
has his first strikeout. On pace for 27 strikeouts. So
Of course he does.
no big deal.
Because he's a fucking badass. But that's awesome, Christopher. Appreciate you jumping in the comment section as well. That's truly incredible. I have been to my fair share of Rays games, but I've never seen them play the Cubs. Well, I take that back. I've never seen them play the Cubs in St. Pete. I've actually seen the Rays at Wrigley.
Okay.
I believe it was 4th of July, maybe either 2016 or 2017. The Rays were in town 4th of July weekend. And my dad and I went to the game.
It would have been 2017 because 2016 I was there July 5th, and it was a series against the Reds.
Okay, there you go. Then it was indeed 2017. But yeah. So, but I've taken in plenty of Tampa baseball over my lifetime. I've been to games when Rocco Baldelli was still roaming center field. So,
Wow.
yeah,
That's awesome.
throwing it way back. The old my favorite teams were the BJ Upton, Ben Zobrist, Carl Crawford teams.
Carlos Pena.
Yeah, Pena was there. I went to a lot of the games
Pena.
that time.
Matt Garza.
I saw Matt Garza's no-hitter in person.
Oh wow, that'd have been what Matt Guard,
Wow.
who James Shields was he
James
there?
Shields. Yeah. I've seen a couple James Shields Tampa starts. Scott Kazmir. I've seen a couple of those starts in my day.
And then of course
Um,
Longoria.
Longo had the best walk-up song in baseball, and you can't tell me that otherwise.
Tantric.
Yes,
Yes.
love that.
Okay. They played. Fun fact: they played here in Little Old Glasgow, Kentucky last year at a small little bar just
No
down
shit.
the road here. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Wow.
And I tried to tell people like, "Who's that? Who are you talking about?" I was like, and then like I show them their song.
You're like Evan Longoria's walk-up
yeah,
song.
Evan Longoria.
Dude, the way they used to do it was awesome too, because it was so Christopher says it was his first Rays game too, which is crazy. That's awesome, especially if you live in
That's
Central
sad,
Florida.
yeah.
It is a hike. For those that don't understand, especially if you live in Central Florida, Christopher, I'm just going to magically assume you're near Orlando. That's a 2-hour drive to Tampa. It's the old Battle of I-4 in the arena days when they would be Tampa versus Orlando. It's about a 2-hour drive, and then St. Pete is like another hour south of Tampa. And there's only one way to get there. It's really miserable. That's why they don't have fans. It has nothing to do with the fan base. It has everything to do with the fact that it's miserable to get to. And Steele gets out of the inning with
2 strikes.
0 issue.
Just easy.
Easy stuff. But no, back to quickly the Longoria thing. So it would start like whoever wasn't batting in front of them that day would get out or get on base or whatever. There'd be like a slight like quiet, and then you would just hear dun 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 dun. And on that, then the announcer would start talking. He'd be like, "Now batting number 3, Evan Longoria," and then it would go back into the dun 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 dun. It was awesome.
That's awesome.
It was the coolest thing. Like
That's so cool.
because they would blare it so loud, and because it's a dome, so like the noise echoes.
Oh, yeah.
It was awesome. Like if I was an opposing pitcher in Longoria's heyday, I would actually be like, "This dude's kind of a badass." Like that's an incredible walkout.
Yeah.
And he was constantly batting like 3 and 4 in that order every year. So it's like,
yeah,
it was
he
cool though.
won the Rookie of the Year in 2008, and
the year they went to the World Series.
Yeah, he just had a consistent. Who was that? The Phillies.
Mm-hmm.
Did they win a game that series?
I think they won 1. I think it was a 5-game series. Yeah, I think they won 1.
I remember that
was
was my
miserable, though.
Freshman year of college, and that was the year. Was that the year, or was it the next? I think it was the next year. Was it the next year that Halladay threw the no-no against Cincinnati, or was that 08?
That might have been 08. We're Googling it.
It's
Roy
crazy, though,
Halladay.
because that Rays team.
No. Against Cincy, you said?
Remember, like it was like the first round of the playoffs, and he throws that no-no, and like the last play of the game for Halladay was that play like right in front of home plate, and
that was 2010. 2010 was Halladay. Yeah. So I got it right here. Yeah, because that was his first postseason, because he wasn't with the Phillies when they won it in 08. The 08 Phils,
it was Cliff
Hamels
Lee.
and Cliff Lee. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Cliff Lee.
That was the 08. Cole Hamels was there. Who else was on that? Oh, shit.
Was Pedro on the Phillies that year, or was that the next?
No,
he was on a Phillies team, wasn't he?
I think he was, but I don't think it was the 08
Like the
team.
next year?
2008, Philadelphia. Not the Eagles. I don't care about the fucking Eagles. Philadelphia Phillies. Here we go. It was a good team, dude. So pitching wise,
he was on the 09 team.
There you go. Pitching wise, we have Joe Blanton was on that team.
Kentucky boy.
Yeah.
Franklin went to Greenwood and went to Franklin, and has a home run. Has a home run in the World Series.
Yeah, Joe Blanton started 13 games that year. Adam Eaton, not the Adam Eaton that you guys are all thinking of, made 19 starts that year. Kyle Kendrick made 30 starts. Brett Myers made 30 starts. Wow. Cole Hamels made 33 starts. And Jamie Moyer made 33 starts at 45 years old for the Phillies that year.
Go figure.
With 123 strikeouts and 196 in the third innings and only 62 walks.
That's crazy.
He had a 3.71 ERA, which was second best in the starting rotation. Isn't that fucking nuts?
That's insane.
Nuts. That's crazy. So that wasn't even the Cliff Lee years then, because he's
Was he
not even
on
listed on the roster, unless they're just not showing me it because I'm on finished first. Yeah, they won the World Series. Why isn't Charlie Manuel was the manager? That's right. That's crazy. Hold on. I'm like, this is gonna bug the living shit out of me because I swore Cliff
he
Lee
was
was
still
on.
He was still on Cleveland in 08. He didn't
Wow,
come to
okay.
Philly. He didn't come to Philly till 09. He was in the
Okay.
Oh wow.
and he was just there for that half season.
Yeah.
When
I
they
remember
played
that
the Yankees.
postseason run though. Yeah, I remember that postseason run though. He was a monster for Philly. So here were some of the names in that pitching, like even in the bullpen. Tom Flash
Ooh,
Gordon was on
yeah.
that team. J.A. Happ was on that team. Brad Lidge was the
Brad
closer.
Lidge. Yeah.
Mhm.
That was one of the years. Like, remember he had like a crazy streak that one year with the Phillies, like
Yeah.
so many straight saves or something like that. It was nuts.
It was crazy. No, they did not trade for him, Ricketts. They did not. I thought they did. I got my years all messed up. I was the youth. Oh, Jesus Christ. Todd Bradley's
What?
rolling through the Cubs lineup right now.
Yep.
Christopher says Polk County, just south of Lakeland. Oh, okay. I know where Lakeland is. Yeah. I know exactly where you're at then. I got a fun story about Lakeland, actually. So as many might know, Lakeland is the spring training home of the Detroit Tigers, or at least it used to be. I don't know if they've moved since. But when I was in college, we played a game against Weber University, which isn't too far from Lakeland. It's about a 45-minute drive from Lakeland. And we stayed at the hotel that the Tigers used to stay at for spring training.
Mm-hmm.
It was not a nice hotel. I can't believe that they put major league players in there. But nonetheless. And so we played this game. We didn't have a clock because this field was atrocious. It was disgusting heat because we played at 1:00 in the afternoon because that was really fucking smart.
Awesome.
We had more than one guy, I think, end up going to the hospital for IV. 2 years. We actually played 2 years in Florida, which was, again, dumb, but neither here nor there. And then that night, we all got to go out after the game and like eat and then do whatever. And a bunch of us went out to eat, and a bunch of us ended up at a certain establishment by the end of the night. It was fun. We had a good time. Let's just put that. Dollar Jaeger bombs. It was a lot of fun.
That's a great time.
We got after it.
Ooh, dollar Jaegers.
We got after it. But it was cool. But we lost. But they were not that good. The heat was stupid. The year prior to that was probably worse. We played down in Naples. And just as we were about to get the game started, a good old-fashioned Florida thunderstorm rolled through. We were delayed for like 2.5 hours and then played the game afterwards. So the humidity was at like 100%. And our sideline was in like 3.5 inches of water.
That's brutal.
After the rain.
Wow.
So that game we won, but that was stupid. All kinds of dumb. So that's neither here nor there. That's my Florida story. Liam Rock says, "Sup, y'all? What's up, man?
What's up?
What's going on?"
Jay says we should make a playback channel. Yeah, we actually have a playback TV. On Tap Sportsnet has playback TV. That is on our bucket list of things to experiment with before the season's over. Unfortunately, our fearless leader, who would be able to get that kind of moving and up and running with us, is currently under the weather, so that will not be a thing this week. But yeah, Jay, that's coming. That's on the horizon. So I don't know if you guys know what playback TV is. So
No,
playback
about
TV. So playback TV is this really cool like creator software where we would essentially have watch along parties with the actual broadcast playing behind us, and we would be like in there. So like it would almost be like this kind of structure where like I would be the game and we would be off to the side.
Oh, like the ESPN stuff.
Yeah, we get to do the commentary. Then the only way that like we're kind of experimenting with it because playback can connect to YouTube via StreamYard.
Oh,
so we can actually have it move out through that. So we're going to experiment with that a lot.
Nice.
So
very,
like
very, very excited for it.
What's the catch with that? Like, as far as like,
no catch. I think The only thing would be from a YouTube standpoint, because they have like broadcast rights with the like MLB and NBA and all these other leagues. Like we don't on YouTube.
Yeah.
So it would probably just be demonetized. That would probably be the worst of it. I don't think it would be a copyright, Limerick, because it would be through playback TV. Like it would show that like we are streaming through playback TV. I just don't know if we'd be able to monetize the video on YouTube, which whatever, that's not the end of the world. But people could then we would have a whole nother interface in the like playback TV, like I guess software for lack of a better term, that people can like comment and like watch along with us and stuff like that. It's a really cool software that we have severely underutilized, in my humble opinion, that I'm itching to get my hands on, because Tony and I, Nick, your cousin, we have already talked about for maybe Blackhawks season, like getting in suits and like doing a physical broadcast from like Casa de Marchese and having like the camera on us, and it'd be like, and Bernard, Bernard throws it down to the left wing corner, and then Tony chimes in with some dumb comment. And hey,
that would be epic. That needs to happen.
I've called play-by-play before. I would love to take a shot at calling hockey. Cool. That's like one of the few sports. Hockey and baseball are the only two sports I haven't called. I've called football, called basketball, I've called soccer, I've called volleyball. Pretty much just the bases sports and hockey. Those are the only two. So
that'd be sick.
Blamrock here. Hey Siri, strike out. Did you see that with the Oakland Athletics announcer when she's like, "Hey Siri, it's not your night." And
hits a bomb.
Yes. And the next
she's had a couple awful announcing like moments.
She had one that like this dude hits like a 450 moonshot and it's up in the air. And she's like,
it might have a chance.
She's like, oh,
it might have a chance, and it's gone.
And it was
like, it's already left. It's already left the county. Okay.
It was.
She's like, hey Siri. It's not your, that just,
this actually happened, Lane Rock.
You could definitely find that.
Steel cruises through another inning. Shit, at this pace, this watch long is going to be over.
This would be like a rough. This would be a rough game for a 9-9-9 because it's already been 2 innings.
Yeah.
I'm thankful that this is why I will never do a 9-9-9 on a Steel day. I just want to. I think
I'll go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I think the pitcher I would probably do a 9-9-9 day on is an Assad start.
I was just gonna ask you
because the number of walks. Yeah. Because the number of walks, it would grow out the length of the innings just a little bit.
Who was pitching during your 9-9-9 challenge? Was it Kendrick? Was it Hendricks? I believe it was Hendricks.
Was it Hendricks?
Because I think it was a high.
When did I do the 9-9-9? It was the Arizona game, right?
It was the Arizona game that, like, at the time,
was,
like non-Cubs fans were saying, like, "Oh my gosh, this may have been one of the most exciting games of the season," and Cubs fans are just like, "Actually, no, this may have been one of like the worst played games of the season, at least for the Cubs, because it was like the 12-inning extra game."
Yeah, that game was crazy. I'm looking. I got
that Amaya. Actually, wait a minute. I've got it right here because I've got it on my list of games.
It was a 12-11 final.
April 17th.
Kyle Hendricks started that game. Yeah, you nailed it.
April 17th. And Kyle Hendricks got roped. And Miguel Amaya. I had Miguel Amaya in all caps next to that game because he did what he did. He did what he's been doing.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that game was rough. Yeah, 12-11 final in 10. The Cubs should have won it, but the Diamondbacks.
They really should have. Yeah.
The Diamondbacks scored 4 runs in 1 run in each of the bottom of the 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th. Ultimately, win that game. The Cubs put up a 6-piece in the 7th.
Amaya had like back-to-back innings. He had back-to-back innings of. They may have been wild pitches. I know at least one of them was a pass ball, but he had 2 back-to-back. He had back-to-back innings late in the game that basically cost them 1 or 2 runs, and then cost them going into extras and all that kind of crap. And just Yeah.
It was bad.
Cost 'em.
Not to bring up bad memories.
Yeah,
Is there a
not
lot
to,
of games on
not
your
to
list,
rub
Tyler?
salt in the wound. I don't know. Are there a lot of games
PCA.
on your list, Tyler?
Well, there was a stretch you could argue the whole month of May because it just got to a point where so far I've only have again because May was so bad, you could argue that like 20 of the games in May could have been
List
games. The only ones I have so far, there's 4 games so far, which 4 games is whatever because, like I said, the whole month of May. But it was the Padres game 1. It was the very first Padres game they played. I think it was at San Diego. Don't remember exactly what happened that game, but Padres game 1 of the series at San Diego. The D-backs game, the Marlins game, 4:20.
Oh yeah.
It was the doubleheader, but it was game 1 of the doubleheader.
Yep.
It was the game that
Alzolay blew it.
Alzolay
Yeah.
blew it.
Oh,
Mhm.
Absolutely blew it.
Brian De La Cruz hit a homer. No, wasn't that game? De La
I
Cruz in
think
the
it
top of
was
the ninth.
Yep. I
Yeah.
think it was.
That was like a
believe so.
2-run shot. They had a 1-run lead. And it was
And
a
then
2-run
the-
shot, and they lost by a run.
May 31st, the Reds. I believe that was at Chicago.
Yeah, it was
That
at
would
that
have
game.
been May 30th.
That was
Yes,
the
that
Willie
the
Harris
throwout.
send Madrigal.
Yeah.
That's where he
that
sent
game.
Madrigal, and Madrigal got gunned. Well, in fairness, he got gunned by Ellie De La Cruz, but yeah, he got gunned.
Yeah. And like I said, you could pull out more games in May. It just got to the point where May just got to be
Bad.
and even into June, it was exhausting.
Yeah.
Because I'm telling you, I got so excited. There was a stretch. I didn't do it for the White Sox series, but there was a stretch where for every series that we won, I would take a picture of what I was eating that night and then tag the team we just beat in the series and be like, hey, losers, only winners get steak. Only winners get
dinner,
steak. Only winners get, burgers. I kept doing it over and over and over. And, that was fun. But
Yeah. It's fun when they win.
It is.
Yeah.
Couple of quick questions from the
pretty
comment
brutal.
section here. Lamrock asks, "Are we from Chicagoland?" So he's from Fort Worth. I am from Chicagoland. Nick is technically from Chicagoland. Tyler is not from Chicagoland.
I'm from southern Kentucky.
And,
but I'll be in Chicagoland this weekend.
Sure will. I'm originally
Can't
from the
wait.
Southwest Burbs, but I currently live in the city. And then Nick, you are originally from where?
Orland Park.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yep.
I thought you grew
Yep.
up in Orland.
Yep.
So ironically, my parents now live in Orland. So, fun little small world. But now you live like way up north. I don't even know.
Yeah,
where the
now
hell
I'm
you
far
live.
up north. Yeah.
You're
far
like damn near Wisconsin at this point.
Oh yeah, we go to Wisconsin all the time, like to
Yeah.
the Raven stuff. Yeah.
You're really up there. You're really up there. Darren says Talkman is my man, but he'd move him down the lineup if he gets out of or till he gets out of this little slump. You know what's funny? Even with his quote unquote little slump, he's still like the 5th highest OPS of qualifying
I would
players. on the
rather
team.
still have him
Yeah.
up top. The plate appearance, he gives you such a good look every time.
Yeah.
He's just
Like
a good.
who,
he's just a professional at bat every time.
Yeah.
And there's
And I
not
know
people
everybody-
behind him that are like lighting the
No.
world on fire.
I know everybody was calling for PCA, but like PCA, like
What?
he has
He
has shown here lately PCA as far as like not working the count in his at bats. Like
Yeah.
I've seen a few times in Cincinnati. Like I want to say like he had like a 3-pitch at bat, like and it was a strikeout. Like and I want to say it happened twice in Cincinnati on Sunday. I know it happened at least, but yeah, he just
And his
I don't know who
swings have been
I don't know who you
ugly.
replace. Yeah, I don't know who
His-
you replace over
Yeah.
Talkman.
Yeah, I don't either.
Maybe Nico. I don't know.
Maybe, but honestly, Nico's not even a 700 OPS player right now.
He's not.
He's like a 689 OPS right now.
Yeah.
It's bad.
Definitely
It's
not
bad.
Patrick
It's bad.
Wisdom.
Yeah, it's definitely bad.
It's bad in these parts. Liam Rock said he grew up in Gary. Okay, left for the military in '91. Spent his life in the Rockies of Wyoming, U.S. Company 0026, and is now in Fort Worth. Thank you for your service, sir. And
Yeah, thank you.
that's what's
Yeah,
up. My brother is currently stationed in, well, technically right now he's in the Philippines, but he's based out of Hawaii. is where he's stationed. So
Nice.
So Scott from Iowa says he hates bunt, but PCA needs to bunt at least once a game. Hey,
I agree.
I think if the situation calls for it, if there's nobody on base, sure. But
he likes to bunt. It seems like he bunts a lot late in the game.
yeah, or he'll bunt with guys on and that aren't ready for him to bunt. And I'm like, no, don't do that. That's how the lead runner gets thrown out. Like, don't do that shit.
Yeah.
Oh, Justin's cruising. Caballero goes and seats
Just
down.
cruising.
Get him some goddamn run support. Why can't we do it?
Tyler, very excited though. You and I were talking, so you'll be at Sunday's game.
I'll be Sunday, Monday, Tuesday.
I'll be at Monday as well, and I will be at Saturday's game. And we get to see the man, the myth, and the legend himself on Saturday. They just announced probables. Wicks will pitch on Friday.
Oh, so because of the Ben Brown injury.
Yes, and shh. No.
Let's hear it. Let's hear it. Let's hear it from you, Ron. Let's hear
it. I don't know if I got it.
You got it. Hang on. Just. Nailed it.
I hope I did you justice, Tyler.
You did. You nailed it. I've got it. I'm telling you, there's
awesome.
this guy. I'll give him a quick little shout out, and I appreciate it every time he does it. And the crazy thing is, it's like he asked me for permission to do it. I'm like, dude, just
Bleacher Ben?
Bleacher Bum.
Is it Bleacher Ben? Bleacher Bum. Okay, yeah.
Bleacher Bum. Super nice guy, but so every road game he's gone to, he has filmed himself. It's awesome. Yeah,
those are cool.
Showtime! I'm like, oh yeah, that's great. That's awesome, man. Very cool,
dude. You gotta get down in the plums for that one though.
You do.
That's the most I've felt my chest vibrate.
Yeah, here.
Right here. It's all in your center gut is where it comes from.
Tommy boy. Oh, is that another strikeout? Look at that.
Yeah, he's cruising, man.
Look at that. Oh, no, it's who's like Tommy boy. He's like, I used to get him launched right here. Right here. Oh man, he's looking good, guys. He's looking good.
Good. His last 4 starts now, he's looked like himself again.
He has, yeah.
He finally looks healthy, and I think he looks confident. And
what the thing with him, and they've actually give a quick little shout out, and they even talked about it on his last podcast. Still the show. He so far twice this season already, he's faced the same team in back-to-back outings between the Pirates and the Reds.
I'm sorry, you're right, the Reds. Yeah.
And the thing with the Pirate, no, it was the Red series. Both of those games, the first one was that freaking the monsoon that came down.
Yeah.
That probably shouldn't have even had the 3-hour rain delay to begin with. So you're sitting there chilling for 3 hours, playing that little game. And then what was the second one? Was the Maya inning.
Yep.
The one that
just the one that got away.
But even though those two games, just he had bad luck, he still looked like his old self. The Braves game, he looked like himself, like his old self.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, he really did. Some of that was just bad luck too.
And people could say what they want. I like Craig leaving him in for, you know what? Yeah. I like him leaving him in, and he's done it with Shota a lot here lately too. We've been at games where we've sit here and looked at each other oh, is he going to come back in for the next inning? Is he going to come in? And they do it. They let him go back in for the next inning. And I like that. Yeah, I get it. Maybe it's because the bullpen hasn't been the greatest this year, but I like that they have that confidence with those two guys.
Yeah, indeed. I like that too. Yeah, I definitely think the bullpen has not, it contributes to doing that for sure. Because you can't really go, I rely on this guy. He's going to come out and shut things down. There's not really a guy you can think of right now.
Yeah.
Maybe lighter.
Go ahead. Yeah. I agree. That's apparently Master Boner Apo Taco gave Iowa the lead. Darren said a little bit earlier, just thinking moving them down would allow them some more opportunities to move guys over, etc. Just for a bit, nothing permanent. I think that's fair. Darren also says my girlfriend just said that's the guy that blew me off the couch that night, isn't it? No, that was not. It was the other guy. Hey, I'm not going to lie to you. When I said I don't know if I have it, I legitimately was a little nervous. I was like, I don't think this is going to be any good at all.
You
But
just
you
got to
down there.
clear your throat, maybe take a drink of water real quick, you know.
Got down to the plums.
You got
You
it,
just
man.
gotta dig deep. This question was from a little bit earlier. I don't want to totally ignore it. Christopher asked, he says, what do we think the Cubs will do at the trade deadline? I know, Tyler, you've got a theory on this, so I'll let you lead this question off here.
As far as like, refresh my memory as far as
what your theory was.
Yeah.
Oh, about like where they're going to be at in the standings, because they're at the number that
you
suggested
I got you.
At the end of June.
I think everything. Okay, and this may go on a long time because I've listened to like a couple people on Twitter. I've listened to like people, you know, and their rants and their thoughts and everything like that. I hate this idea. I hate this thought that it's almost like this idea of, it feels like a lot of teams, Cubs is one of them, is they're using this excuse of, well, you know, everybody but the Dodgers and the Phillies and the Brewers like are terrible. So everybody has a shot, you know, it's just playing the odds of who gets hot there at the right time. And I hate that. Like the Cubs shouldn't be that. And that's a whole different thing in itself. I think by the end of June, if this team is 7-8 games out, like I think you legit consider, and I don't know who you'd start off with, but I think you legit consider either trading off guys, selling guys, or we've heard this whole, like, we've heard the prospect thing now forever. Like, screw it. Give Owen Casey, give somebody a shot. Call somebody up. Call a couple of them up. Like, put your money where you're at. Put your money where your mouth is. Or do the whole, hey, we have all these prospects. We have the top whatever farm system in baseball. Whoopie-doo. Like, when I see that, like, there's two sides to it. You can get excited about it. It's almost like there's two sides of it. You can get excited about it, or you're almost just like, okay, cool, let's use them as trade pieces. And it's like, you got to do one or the other. But if this team is 7 to 8 games out at the end of June, I think you've got, like, I know you keep hearing the whole, Pete Alonso and Vladdy Guerrero. As far as Alonso, I don't know, because, like, do you trade a lot of prospects for Pete Alonso for like half a season of Pete Alonso, then just to turn around and give him the bank, when I personally think that a big fat contract to Pete Alonso, and if that's all they're doing next offseason, I feel like that's a mistake. But God, I feel like 7 or 8 games out, you've got to make a change. And it's looking that way. Unfortunately,
it is looking that way. I mean, they're 7 out as of today, as everything stands right now. 7 out. I mean, they're only half game out of the wild card, but they're 7 out of the division right now as it stands. Nick, you want to elaborate?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with Tyler 100%. If you're 7 or 8 games out with the division, that's really looking like that's your only avenue to the playoff, is winning the division. With the wild card, there's such a back up with teams, so it's like, I don't know. I agree with you. I think you got to make a change at that point. You got to do something drastic. I mean, I don't think Pete Alonso's the answer, like you said, to lose prospects like that over you're getting him for half a season.
Yeah.
And then you're going to have to, like you said, back up the bank.
And here's the thing. It would be totally different. I would be on the Pete Alonso train if, let's say, we were 2 to 3 games back from the Brewers, and as of right now, as we know, this offense has just been like, God, like,
if we look different too.
If the standings were a little different, I would be all over the Pete Alonso train. I'd be all Vladdy may be a different story, because I think he's a guy, he's shown in the past where he finished second MVP, and he's hit 40 plus homers before. Now, granted, the more I listen to it, the more you look into it, you may think, well, maybe he actually is just like a 25 plus homer guy, not that 30, 40 homer, whatever. But you've got a little more time with Vladdy. But as far as Pete Alonso, like, if things were different, like if we were just neck and neck with the Brewers, I'd be all over. I'd be all over getting Pete Alonso. If that's, hey man, we need a power bat, we need a difference maker. And I get it. He's not doing his best right now as far as Alonso, but he's shown in the past that he crushes at Wrigley Field.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Yep.
I've watched Pete Alonso hit probably the farthest ball I've ever watched physically leave.
Was you at that game?
This was in 2021.
Yeah.
It was before the sell-off. It was the Cubs kicked the living shit out of the Mets. The final score was like 16-4. It was in like late April that year. They were still at like 40% capacity. Let me put it that way. Like it was still before they reopened Wrigley fully. And I remember Pete Alonso hit this ball. We were sitting in like left center. Like we were literally the section right along the batter's eye, in like left of the batter's eye. And watching this ball go down the fucking left field line, and just, I mean, it was a towering shot. Like it would have cleared the roof of Wrigley.
So it was like
so high.
Was it the Glendale Harris home run?
Yeah, Glen Ellen. Yeah, it was almost comparable.
Yeah.
It just didn't go as far, but it was like, it was a towering moonshot. It was absolute bananas. So I wanted to give light to that question. You know what I think they're going to do with the deadline? If they're out of it, I think there's a world where they start making what I'm going to call Michael Bush trades.
Yeah.
Like change of scenery, take flyers on guys, just see what happens type trades is what I think could happen to, again, like you said, Tyler, kind of just something needs to change. Not necessarily sell per se, but not necessarily buy either. Just kind of a shake up and see what happens. And then focus on the offseason and then play for 2025. Maybe let some of those prospects come up and play.
And it sucks even talking about that. It sucks even thinking about that because as we've texted back and forth, like it's almost like the $1 billion. It's almost like at that point, they're acting like the $1 billion mid-market team. You know what I mean?
And it just sucks. We were just talking about this in our group chat the other night.
Yeah. It sucks because like, I think that you start doing that. I know, and I've sat here and said it, like next offseason, we need to go after a guy like Juan Soto. But in Juan Soto's case, if I'm Juan Soto and I see what's going over here in Chicago, why would I even want to do that when I know what I've got in New York? New York's going to pay me more than I know their owner said whatever they said about paying, not being able to afford this and that. But you empty everything you have. You start asking your family and friends for money for Juan Soto if you have to, and they will match whatever Chicago matches. You know what I mean? Yeah. So when something like that starts happening, Juan Soto's not going to come here then, because it's like, why would I want to do that when I know what I've got here in New York, when I know that they're probably, depending on, how the rest of the season, they're probably going to make it to the World Series, if not the ALCS. And they don't even have Garrett Cole yet. Like, think about that. Like, they're getting a trade acquisition kind of at the deadline, it feels like, and they're not going to give up anything. The former Cy Young winner. So it's like, why do that?
I think too, if you're Juan Soto, like the allure though of being a Yankee and like the history that comes with being a New York Yankee and being a part of that historic franchise and shit, like that plays into it too. I think for a guy that he won a World Series with the Washington Nationals, like he's won his championship, but like if you could compete for championships in New York, that's a legacy move. That's not even just a money move. That's a legacy move. And I think there's a very good chance that could happen. So I don't disagree whatsoever. Liam Rock had a nice little question here as well. He says he's got a baseball question for us. He said he's dabbling and following the minors. He said, what % of players make it through single A up to the majors, if any? Some do. I mean, it happens more than you might think, but I think it also happens a lot less than you might think too. This is kind of a loaded question, and I'll take my best stab at it if you guys don't mind before you guys chime in. But think about it this way. I wouldn't look at it from the sense of like every single one of these guys I'm watching right now is going to make it to the big leagues. Focus on the top prospects. MLB pipeline should become your best friend if you're going to watch minor league baseball. I also will give a huge shout out to guys like Greg Huss, Greg Zumach, other really good content creators within the Cubs fandom that focus largely on the minor leagues. Follow those guys. Listen to the guys that they tell you to watch, and watch those games for those guys, because those are the guys that are the top prospects that the team sees a future for. Like right now, Moises Ballesteros is one of the best bats in the system. Jefferson Rojas is a lot of fun to watch in Juice's backyard right now down in South Bend. Owen Casey in Iowa is obviously a huge name to watch. So like it's more so watching names, I would say, than watching the team as a whole. That said, minor league baseball is a hell of a lot of fun. Like
It is.
I was actually just having a conversation with Brandon B, who's jumped in our comments section the other night. Him and I were DMing back and forth on X, and he lives near Knoxville, so he lives near the Smokies, the AA Tennessee Smokies. And he was like, "Oh, I go to games all the time, and like it's so much fun." And like I'm like, "See, but like because minor league baseball's fun, and it's even more fun when it's like you have a rooting interest in the team that is a part of that. What a catch by PCA!" But like. That's to me the fun of it. So, Liam Rocket, if you're going to go down that path, I would focus more so on like the prospects you're watching versus just watching the minor leagues as a whole. That being said, watch the games. You might see a guy that like surprises the shit out of you out of nowhere that could make it to the big leagues at some point. I think Jefferson Rojas was largely that kind of last year, where everybody's like, "Oh, there's this kid in 18-year-old in low A ball that." They think is going to be kind of good. And everybody was still so focused on Christian Hernandez down there that Rojas overtook Hernandez effectively as that shortstop of the future. Now Hernandez is playing second base and Rojas goes up to South Bend and has been killing it. He's probably going to be a AA before the season's over as an 18-year-old, which is absolute bananas to consider. So that's how I would project it. But percentage, he asks percentage of players guesstimation of minors to majors. Oh, far less than 20%. I would say it's probably like 10 to 15 at best. And that's like league wide. That's not just like Cubs system. It's a small percentage, man. It really is. I mean, it's hard to get to minor league ball, let alone to get to major league ball. Like you got to be the best of the best.
I mean, you watch like college baseball, which I love this time of year just because of college baseball. And it's one of my favorite things about watching college baseball, and I'll sit there, like my wife will sit there and watch it with me too sometimes. And you'll see it starting tomorrow. Like a lot of these guys, even in the college level, D1 college level, are playing their last games, which just goes to show just how hard it is to make it to the minors. Like the little single A team that lives right about 30 minutes down the road from me. It's the Hot Rods. And just to kind of go off on that question, like if you watch guys like one thing to look at to kind of give you an idea, you could see maybe the age of players in single A, maybe the time they've spent. Now there are some times where like, you'll see a guy, like I'll see a guy that maybe hits averaging 98, 99 on the gun, and you'll watch and I'm just, I'll sit there whoever I'm with and I'm like, oh, well, that guy's not going to be here very long. But at the same time, it may be something where you watch this guy that's throwing 98, 99 and we all know everybody has guys that hit 98, 99, 100 miles an hour, but like maybe there's just something off, like, and you'll see it. Maybe he gets hit up a little bit. Maybe he can't throw a strike. So I don't know. It's just kind of fun to watch the growth of a lot of these younger players. And yeah, even though, it's probably going to be less than 20% that make it even out of single A. It's just cool to watch those guys, like, try to get to that next level. And like you said, Ron, they're fun. They're still fun games. Like if I lived closer than 30 minutes down the road, I would probably buy season tickets to the Hot Rods.
Yeah. I mean, that was the cool thing. Like even in where my parents are at, Nick, you probably know all about this. And anybody that lives anywhere near the south side of Chicago or the Southwest Burbs knows exactly where I'm talking about. The Windy City Thunderbolts. And they're not even like professional minor leagues necessarily. They are Frontier League, which is independent league, where guys can get bought out of the independent league to go to pro ball, essentially. And like even those games are fun. They're a great time. And minor league baseball is a lot of fun. I highly recommend anybody that's never experienced a lot of minor league ball to do it, because it's honestly fun. Matt said 20%. Darren said about 10%. That sounds probably about right. It's small. Yeah. I mean, it's hard.
Yeah.
And like you mentioned, Tyler, right, about like the numbers of like these college guys and not making it. Another base hit for Michael Busch, who continues to be one of the best players for the Cubs this season. And you can totally at me if you disagree. Like it's just it's crazy to think, right, that like it's an accomplishment if you get to minor league ball in life. Yeah. Like I had a buddy that I grew up with that played in the minors for like I think like 6 or 7 years. He was with the Astros, and then he got traded to the Mets and like played there for a few years, and then he finishes his career out with the Chicago Dogs, which is another independent league team. I just saw Was it Lamrock? Yeah, talking about the Gary Railcats. The Railcats are in the AA, which is the same league as the Chicago Dogs, and now the Kane County Cougars are a part of that league as well. A lot of minor league ball around Chicagoland, but they, that's where he lived and used to do it. Matt said he used to love the Daytona team. That used to be the Daytona Cubs.
Been to Daytona
way back in the day. That used to be their high A team. Or no, I'm sorry, that used to be their
Nico. Let's go.
It was their high A team for a little bit.
It also depends on at the same time. It also depends on what team they get drafted on, because you're talking about your buddy that got. I had a buddy I played high school ball with or against. Derek Self played college ball at Louisville. Got drafted to the Nationals. Here was the problem where he got drafted, and I want to say he made it all the way to AAA, maybe.
Yeah, my buddy did
but he
too.
played in an era with the Nationals. It was the year they won the World Series. It was during that it was during that time frame where they were like World Series contenders.
Scherzer, Strasburg, Corbin.
He was playing all those guys.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, this is a freaky play.
Oh no! What?
We almost had us a Javi Baez Pirates play here. Felt like with Patrick Wisdom.
Stop it.
Oh
Patrick,
yeah.
you are not Javi.
Yeah.
Except the fucking tag. Thank you.
But anyways, he was a relief pitcher. I mean, it was kind of smart. At least he whatever.
He at least gave the runners time to advance, which fine. I'll take it. Yeah. It's effectively a sack bunt at that point. That's what that effectively goes down as.
So he was a relief pitcher, and at the time, though, the Nationals were not known for like calling up a lot of their relievers.
Right.
Ooh. Wow. Speaking of PCA bunting,
Tyler's ahead. Yeah. Yep.
Oh, wow, Scott. Scott with the bunting call right there. I mean, granted, he was out by a mile, but thanks for the. I guess he has like a spring in his catcher's mitt or something.
He wasn't. Yeah. I was gonna say it didn't even. He would have been out by a mile.
Yeah, he would have been.
I mean,
It's ugly, but it works.
Yeah. Okay, we'll take it. Ball. Is that, man? I thought for some reason I thought the Cubs were playing defense there for a second, but no, that was a race. All right, let's go. But
you back around?
Yeah, but no. So basically, the Nationals weren't known for like calling up minor league guys. They would always just sign guys. And so there he was. He played for almost 10 years, and then ended up finishing with it was called the Lexington Legends. It was the independent team that Brandon Phillips owned.
Oh, okay. Very nice.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. That's a fun little tidbit. Matthew said, what's the score? Can't watch from here. Cubs just took the 1-0 lead. So you're not missing much. Justin Steele dealing, which I will say about that. I'm trying to find, there was a couple of good comments up here a little bit earlier.
And hopefully, Matt, that's a good point. Matthew, what we were just talking about. Hopefully, if we can start the playback stuff, Matthew, hopefully we can help with your blackout situation, because blackouts suck.
They do suck. Yeah,
I agree with that wholeheartedly. Hank said Rojas playing so good at shortstop, they moved Ed Howard to third base in South Bend. Yeah, he's been playing some second base too in South Bend. Rojas has been that good. Like, I think based on the conversations I've had with Juice, like post shows, and we'll take another fucking run. It's ugly, but it works. But based on conversations I've had with Juice, like post shows, he has convinced me that like the one untouchable prospect in the system right now is Jefferson Rojas. Like, that's what he's convinced me of. I think he's the only I think he's the only player that Cubs would literally tell a team like, no, we're not including Jefferson Rojas, because he's 18. He had what was his hitting streak? Like 17 games at high A ball as an 18-year-old. That's insane. Crazy. That's unheard of. That's like Bryce Harper shit. Like, low key, that's Bryce Harper shit. If he keeps, assuming he keeps hitting at every level and doesn't go through a really big dip in his progression, like Jefferson Rojas could be in the MLB by the time he's like 21, 22 years old, like PCA is. But potentially better, because he had, more time to adapt and more games played, and plays a more key position in terms of shortstop.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe there's a day where Dansby loses a step at short and moves to third or something of that nature, and Jefferson Rojas is the guy roaming the shortstop position someday. So I don't know. Who knows? Scott says, "Holy fucking buns!" Hey man,
Yeah.
Yep.
the shit works. We'll take
I mean,
that.
your whole I mean, this would be a bad time. This would be a bad season to do it just because of the way he's been playing. Whatever, I don't remember if it was a live stream or a show we did. The whole when you threw out the idea of Nico Horner being traded, like
That was a Juice thing, so that was not me. I will
That's
hand to
okay.
God, that was not me. That was Juice thing. That was Juice
mean-
trying to stir the pot, and I think he did because I remember the comment section on that show. People were fucking pissed. People were like, "Don't
Because-
you dare trade Nico!"
I was-
And he's like, "I was like, I'm not going to argue you." And but let's be honest though, and here's why I think it makes sense, and the only reason it makes sense, and I'm talking about this with my analytical numbers nerd brain.
Yeah.
Look at all the big money makers on this team. Outside of Cody Bellinger, right? Who they're very clearly not going to trade.
Yeah.
Dansby's got a no trade clause. Sea's got a no trade clause. Hap has a no trade clause. Tyone has a modified no trade clause. Those are some of your top earners on the team. Who is the only other guy on this team that's making 8 figures that has a no trade clause? Nico Horner.
Yeah.
That's it. He's the only guy. And
Yeah.
Kyle Hendricks, but Kyle Hendricks is free agent after this year. But like that's it. Like if you really look at how many guys are making 8 figures on this team right now, it's not many. It's very few. And it's at a very few select spots.
Dansby and Ian aren't going anywhere.
Hell no.
No,
No way.
not happening.
Nor is Seiya. Seiya's not going anywhere. Not anytime soon.
No way.
But at least here's the thing. If you're the Cubs and shit's not working right, you only got 2 more years of Seiya after this year. You got 2 more years of Hap after this year. You have 2 more years of Nico after this year. Dansby's the only guy that's under contract beyond the next 2 years. And then you have only 2 more years of Bellinger potentially too. Everybody's on that 3-year window right now where Jed could blow this bitch up in 3 years and say, okay, it's Dansby Swanson and the boys. And they try to bring some of these minor leaguers up.
Yeah, it just sucks that it would be 3 years.
Well, it'd be 2 years technically. Sorry,
2 years.
It's
But
2 years
still,
after
yeah.
this one, so 2.5 we'll call it because we're slowly cruising toward the halfway point of the baseball season.
Yeah.
Steele is dealing, as Brandon B said here in the comment section. Talkman under control, too valuable in his opinion to trade, and he's inexpensive. Yeah, he's got. So I was looking at this a little bit earlier, actually. I'm glad you brought this up. I think everybody that listens to the show habitually knows that I'm an absolute numbers nerd. If you watch Four Feathers podcast, you heard me bitching about Cap Friendly getting bought by the Capitals and being shut down, which is like a SPO track on steroids for hockey, essentially. I'm very mad about that. I spent 30 minutes ranting about it yesterday on a Four Feathers live stream. But there is. So Talkman's interesting because Talkman has 2 more years of arbitration before he hits free agency. So I agree. Talkman's not going anywhere anytime soon.
I look at this as far as like Talkman on a playoff contending lineup is not your leadoff guy. He's not. He's on a playoff contending team. He's a bench. He's your bench guy.
He's your 4th
veteran
outfielder.
guy.
Yeah,
He's your 4th outfielder. So as much as I like Talkman too, like depending on what it looks like by the trade deadline, he's somebody that I would probably consider trading. Just because, like, is this team going to contend in the playoffs this year? No. Depending on what happens next year, nice catch. Next year, like depending on what changes are made, are they going to contend for a playoff spot next year? I hope, but the way it looks, I don't know. So it's like
I don't know.
you've got it. And how old is Mike Talkman?
He is 33, I believe.
33. So as valuable as he is to this
33.
team right now, I would probably pull the trigger on a Mike Talkman trade.
You know what? And
And-
that's an interesting thought process.
And again, I like Mike Talkman. I love listening. Like I looked at you guys when we were at Cubs convention, when he just listened to him talk about hitting. I was like, my God, like this guy would be awesome to talk to. Like it's just like listening to like a guy like now I know he's not as good as this guy hitting wise, but it's like listening to like JD Martinez talk hitting. Like it's just, man,
Sure.
I could talk to him. I could listen to him talk about that for an hour. But yeah, as valuable as he may seem to this team right now, I would consider trading him.
It's an interesting proposal.
And
Brandon said here if Jed is here in 2 years, has to be remarkable
I
turnaround.
agree.
I have to bounce out of the stream for 2 seconds, but I'm gonna leave you guys with this question here. What does Mike fetch?
What does Mike fetch? Oh, as far as Mike Tauchman. Oh,
Trade,
gotcha.
yeah,
Okay,
trade
I got
value,
you.
yeah.
Okay, trade value.
Well, as far as to go back just on his question before, as far as if Jed is here in 2 years, there has to be a remarkable turnaround. I totally 1000% agree with that because, if this team ends up finishing the way it looks in the bottom half of this god awful division, as everybody likes to talk about, as far as this just being and again, I hate that mindset that it feels like this, especially this team. I don't care about the other teams. I don't care about all the other mid-market teams because the Cubs shouldn't be they're not a mid-market team. They're a $4 billion.
They're not small market. Yeah.
Yeah.
they act like it.
If this team looks like it does in 2 years, by the end of this year and next year, I think Jed gets booed off the stage next winter. I really do if this is how it is. But as far as what does Mike fetch?
Yeah.
I think you've got to look at the teams with a guy like Mike Tauchman, especially for us that people want to say, oh, we need a bullpen, we need a closer, we need this and that. And it's yeah, a closer would be nice, but you've got to be in a spot where you can get a save. You've got to score runs and stuff like that. So I think with Mike Tauchman, you look at the teams that need that fourth outfielder. You look at what they could possibly bring you as far as on their, in their farm or even major league worthy players right now. And I think you just find the best guy you can get out of those teams that are needing that fourth outfielder.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree with you. And it's the thing with Mike Tauchman and the whole roster, which is kind of sad, is we don't have a superstar. Everyone is kind of mid. And that's they're not terrible, but they're not superstars. And there's not you need that.
So not to go on a huge tangent because we've listened to it forever, but it's the topic. It's the conversation. I feel like this team, if you look at it on paper, a playoff contending team, this is full of a bunch of 5, 6, 7 players, 5, 6, 7 hitters, and just a bunch of, and I get it, baseball's a game of streaks, but it's just a bunch of it when they've all got to be on their streaky. They've all got to be on their streak. You know what I mean? They've all got to be on their good streaks for this team to be like that. And I'm sorry, Darren. He's the blue collar guy. I know. I agree. It's just I can agree with that too, Brandon. And that's going to bring me up to my next topic that we were just just going to what we were talking about with the Phillies. I'm so 100%. Jealous. I am so I've said it on Twitter. I've said it for the past few weeks. I'm so jealous of the Phillies. I'm so jealous of the Phillies fan base. I'm so jealous of the relationship that the Phillies have with their fans, that their ownership and Dave Dombrowski has with his players and his fans. I love that Bryce Harper contract. I love I'm sounding I don't know, I'm just jealous. I'm jealous of all of it because their owner, they got so much shit when they traded all their farm. Several seasons ago, the Phillies, they're not going to have a farm. They're not going to have a farm. That's okay. Look how they are now. Look at what they're a World Series contender for the past 3 seasons. They've got freaking the superstar and Bryce Harper, the guy, and they've got an owner that has the balls to pay for players because they know if you just go out and show that, hey, look, guys, I'm trying to get this team worthy of being a contender. I'm giving these fat contracts, and it's paid off. And I'm so jealous of all that. That's what this Cubs, that's what this should be. That's what this team should be. This organization should be. The fan base should be. And you know how it is. You've got hardcore fans. You got the guys that they have high expectations, they have standards, but then you have this other half that are just well, it's Wrigley and my dad was a Cubs fan and his dad was a Cubs fan and now my kids and it's family and we're going to treat this place like it's Disneyland because, everybody's going to go to Wrigley and blah, blah, blah. And I just,
It's aggravating. No, I agree with you 100%. And that mentality is it's a loser's mentality to not pay for players that you know are capable. These lottery tickets that they keep trying to, win on. It's turned out to, like you said, it's a lineup right now of 5, 6, 7 hitters all throughout the whole lineup. It's bad. It's not good.
But yeah, Brandon, I agree. Like I could see him going to a team like the Phillies, like a Mike Tauchman on the Phillies.
Oh yeah.
Like, dude, he would fit right in. You play because like you've got Castellanos and Kyle Schwarber as your corner outfielders, but one of them is going to be DHing. But if you get a guy like Mike Tauchman, you play, Schwarber or Castellanos in the outfield for so long, and then it's like what, 8th inning? Hey, I'm gonna throw in Mike Tauchman, a guy that can work the count. He's a really good defender. I just don't know as far as what the Phillies have, but yeah, I would trade him if you're gonna do. I would trade him for something.
Yeah, if you're at that point, like you said, I would agree with you. You trade him. He is a piece that I could see trading.
Yeah, Brandon, that'd be a great spot for him. Maybe we work out a deal where we trade Mike Tauchman in a package. Maybe we throw Mike Tauchman, and I tell you what, we'll throw you in a Nick Magical and a Patrick Wisdom, and you just hand us over Bryce Harper. How about that? Bingo, bango. What?
There you go.
Problem solved.
Wouldn't that be nice?
But yeah, that would be. But yeah, I'm like him at the top of that lineup or just late in the game. Yeah, Brandon. Like just to set it up for guys like Kyle and Bryce. But I think he will be a sought out. I think they'll get several phone calls on Mike Tauchman just because the market by the trade deadline for outfielders it's not. You look around the league and there's not many because there's a lot of teams, especially in the National League, not named the Phillies, not named the Dodgers, not named the Brewers, that all think they have a chance. Like the Braves need an outfielder, and the Braves, and they're going to the playoffs. And then you've got 6 other teams that they all think they're going to the playoffs. So yeah, they're all like, and all of them don't really have. I'm sure they all could use an extra outfielder.
Yeah, and an interesting quote here. Darren says that he thinks the Cubs would have 5 more losses without Tauchman this season. Blue card, heart and soul, smart baseball sense, intangible vet, worth more in reality than on paper. I agree, but I think because of that, I think that's why he has value.
Yeah. And it's crazy that he is a vet, but what's crazy is like he doesn't have a whole lot of major league time, but just the time he had, just what he's 33, he's going back to what we were talking about earlier with the minors. He grinded in the minors, and dude, he's worked his way up to that to be able to call him a vet.
I was gonna say shit. He went to the KBO for fuck's sake before getting the Cubs. So he did what he had to do. Matt says Tauchman is not a 5-WAR player. Well, sure. There's very few players in baseball that are 5-WAR players. I don't think the Cubs have a 5-WAR player on their roster.
We were just talking about that. No.
The closest you had was last season with Dansby. I think he was a 4.
The highest position player we have as far as WAR goes is Michael Busch, right?
Sure, the goddamn is.
Yeah.
Which is good for Michael Busch. That Michael Busch is having a good year, but that's bad as far as the rest of the team goes.
Yep.
Yeah, it just shows you how pathetic the rest of the team is performing as well.
Yeah. Oh, Ron, we were just we were talking about Tauchman, and Brandon brought up the Phillies, and I was like, well, I'm glad since you brought up the Phillies, I just basically
you're like, I'm glad to ask.
My jealousy of the Phillies and just the way their fan relation, everything. Which, by the way, just a quick little side note. There's a show. It's a Phillies. I don't know if it's like the Phillies broadcasters or what, but they just released a interview with Bryce Harper. And the thing is, I used to hate Bryce Harper. I still think him and his daddy cheated in 2017 to beat Kyle Schwarber in the home run derby. But
facts.
After hearing his first open interview a few years ago, I want to say before he went to the Phillies, my whole perspective about him changed. But anyways, he did about a 45-minute interview with a couple of the Phillies broadcasters just before the London series. And it is if you're a baseball fan, if you are a parent that has kids that play baseball or just enjoy watching baseball, go listen to that interview. I can't think it's like
he's coming back.
if you, it's going to be probably like the number one thing. And he just talks a lot about like his dad growing up, the way he, just the way his dad practiced with him and stuff. And it just goes from there, man. It was just, it was awesome.
I absolutely love that. I'll have to get that a listen.
Awesome. Yeah, it is totally worth it.
What did Matt say
And that's
here?
not just me being salty about, me and jealous of the Phillies and stuff. It's just, it's cool.
Tyler, I saw that post of yours today already. I already know where.
And what's funny, Ron, like, let me just look at my, I don't remember how many years this was. I remember posting on Instagram. Yes. Okay. Wow. June 3rd, nearly 7 years ago from the day. 7 years ago, back in 2017, Bryce Harper said he would prefer to play for the Cubs. And I commented, "Oh, really, Bryce? I would prefer you to get that thought out of your head. No Cubs, no." And, which not to go like, which I still love to do this.
Are you trying to say, Tyler, that you're the reason he didn't sign with the Cubs?
Probably, yeah, probably. He probably saw my comment and was like, "Gosh, you know what? I was this close, but that Tyler guy from Southern Kentucky, that he was just such a dick. I'm not signing with you guys." But and we've talked about this before, as far as like what if, like the Marvel What If show. I saw there was a post. Somebody did it with the NBA, like basically what could have been, or what if Kobe had been drafted to the Hornets and stuff. This would be another what if topic. Like, what if Bryce Harper would have signed with the Cubs? Does Chris Bryant stay in Chicago? Does their relationship, because they're friends, like, does their relationship help like boost Chris Bryant's play on the field? I don't know. I just another what if. Do they have a falling out because Anthony Rizzo and Bryce Harper, get in a fight in the locker room over whose team it is or something? I don't know. It just, There's
a lot of what ifs there. Matthew said, "Can we get Schwarber back and put him behind the plate? Can't be worse than what they have." Unfortunately, no. I don't think Kyle Schwarber's been a catcher since 2015. It's been damn near a decade since that dude probably put on a catcher's mask. So.
Yeah.
He's probably not wrong, though. It probably isn't worse than what the Cubs currently have, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah. Which, if you guys noticed, y'all noticed his first game back in Boston, he hit 2 home runs.
Did he really?
Yeah.
I love that.
Hit 2 home runs. He hit the first. So, I still do a little fandueling. And if a big guy like a Schwarber or a Anthony Rizzo, I did it the other night with Ian Happ in St. Louis. If I notice the guy hits a home run early, I'm so tempted to go on FanDuel and do the whole the live game thing of, this guy hit 2 home runs this game. And I almost did it with Schwarber, and I wish I would have, but the odds of him hitting a second home run at that time wasn't very high.
Yeah. No, that's fair. I didn't tell you guys, speaking of betting, about my little adventure the other night.
Yeah.
So for those that participate in FanDuel, this is not a paid ad. I wish it was. They do a thing called Dinger Tuesdays, where if you make a $25 bet on any player in any game to hit a home run, even if the bet doesn't cash, you get $5 in free bets for every home run hit in that game that you bet on. So you can kind of like win without winning. I bet $25 the other night because he's on my fantasy team on Ezekiel Tovar, and he hit a bomb, and I won like $200, and I was
wow.
That's awesome.
I would do that. I didn't know they did that. Like, I would do that every Tuesday. Every Tuesday, I'm betting $25 for Aaron Judge.
There you go. Yeah. I mean, it's probably not great odds, but you'll win money if he hits a bomb.
But what was you saying about every home run hitting the game as well?
$5 because you got.
That's smart.
Wow.
With the Yankees pound that.
And the best part is the game I ended up betting on had 4 homers, so I have $20 in free bets too.
That's awesome.
I hit money. Cool. I was so stoked.
That's awesome.
I was sitting there, And the only reason I found out about it is because like the ESPN Fantasy Baseball app will send you alerts when a guy on your team hits a home run.
Yeah.
And I got home run by Ezekiel Tovar, and I was like, "Oh!" I'm like, "No way, this just worked." And I went and I double checked, and sure shit, it was a 3-run bomb, I think, too. It was awesome.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I was pumped. It was 25 to win 182. So very
That's
excited
crazy.
about that. Yeah.
I want to. So, which if you do FanDuel, you know, you probably noticed it. I love every single Paul Skeens start. They have like his own little section as
Paul
far as
Skeens
like
bets. Yeah.
the velocity, the 6 up, 6 down, and every single time it's just been like $1, but like bet $1 to have a no through whatever it was, like 5+ innings. One was like a perfect game. One was a no hitter. Like, I'll throw $1 on there. You never know. But no, I just think it's awesome how they've got Paul Skeens' own, you know, his own little section. They need to throw in like, how many times will they mention his girlfriend?
That's fair. Matthew says, "Don't you have to use the money within 2 days, though?" Maybe. I don't know. I probably should look at that. I'm going to go look at that right now because we might be making some late night baseball bets. This is like on tap bets commentary here right now.
Yeah. No free ads, FanDuel. If you're listening to this, I know you probably are. Get in contact with us.
I just got the 1.5 or the 1-800 number for being a degenerative gambler.
I've got a buddy I've got a buddy at work that anytime like I even mention the word gambling, he'll send me a text in big caps, gambling problem, and he'll send me the number. I'm just like, you asshole. He does it to me every single time. And even when he asks me for like betting advice on baseball because he doesn't watch baseball, after he's like, "Thanks, man," and then he sends it to me. Gambling problem?
I don't have to use the bonus bet until the 19th of June. Ooh, so you know what that means, Tyler?
You can do it this weekend or Monday.
Doing it on Monday night when we're there together. I'm gonna use that $20 free bet, and we're gonna bet on.
Speaking of that, I believe so. Justin Steele, I think his next start, depending on everything, I think he would throw Tuesday, which means Monday would be Assad.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Sunday.
Right. Yeah, because Sunday's Tyone.
Sunday's Tyone, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. Like I was so I was trying to figure out when Shota pitched again. I was like, oh man, we're gonna catch it on Sunday, but he would be Saturday.
I'll be at the Shota start. Which, speaking of Shota, I got some goodies to show you guys. Hang on a second. I got 2 new additions to the collection.
Yeah.
The first one is this beautiful babe.
Nice.
Very nice.
Little Shota action. I might wear this on Saturday. That might be the jersey of choice.
As you should, yeah.
But then we added the real beauty to the collection.
Ooh, I saw that. Where did you get that off of?
I got this on eBay.
Dude, eBay. I tell you what, eBay, that's where I got my Sosa jersey. eBay, like you can catch a lot of them older jerseys like that for like nothing.
I ended up just this is gonna sound so terrible. It's gonna sound like I'm a raging alcoholic, which I'm not, but I was sitting there. I'd had like 2 drinks. I caught just enough of a buzz because we ate a very light dinner. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, I want a Carlos Pena jersey. Like I've wanted one. And I saw this high school girl who was probably 6 fucking years old when he played for the Cubs have a Pena jersey on the one day I went to a game. And I was like, this is a bunch of bullshit because you don't even know who Carlos Pena is, but that's neither here nor there. But I was sitting there and I'm like, man, Carlos was my guy. Like I have a jersey of his from when he was with the
When was this?
This was beginning of May.
Yeah, we saw him at was I not with you when we saw a Pena jersey?
No, not this one, not this specific one.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, I saw it was this little because it was senior ditch day for a high school in the Chicagoland area. It was a Friday day game.
Yeah, and I remember you talking about that on like your next show or whatever. Or
Yeah.
yeah.
And she had a Pena jersey on, and I lost my mind. And I kid you not. So this girl's what?
That's great.
Barely probably 18. So you figure he played with the Cubs in what, 2011, 2012? So she was legitimately like fucking 8 years old when he played for the Cubs, probably younger. And I was like, how do you know who he is? It is 2-0, Matt. Sorry. They got another bunt for
that's awesome
in the same inning.
Yeah.
But so I was like, man, I want that. And somebody had one, and it was actually in my size. And I was like, ooh. I'm like, I don't want to pay that price so that it was like the buy it now price. And I'm like, eh. And there it was like, or, send best offer. And I'm like, I'll send him an offer. And I sent the offer, and I didn't even think about it the next day. And I woke up and I had an email alert that said like, congratulations on your first eBay purchase. And I'm like, what the fuck did I buy? And then I'm like, oh, they took the offer. So
that's great.
There we go.
He's probably had it. He's probably had it in his closet since like 2013, and his wife's just been constantly, hey, are we throwing this out or what? And she probably saw the offer. She probably saw the offer, probably saw the offer and was just like, sold. Probably didn't even, he probably has no idea. Ron, he probably has no idea like where his jersey went. Like she probably just took it, bagged it up for him, and like shipped it off. And here's this guy just still looking all over his house, like, where's my Pena jersey?
Honey, where's my super suit?
I had something like that similar, like happen in just here in the small town that I live. I was driving down. I think I told y'all because it was just before a show. It was sometime last year. A lady wearing an Aramis Ramirez jersey, which I get it. He was a popular guy, but just I wanted to turn around and just be like, "Hey, you're a Ramirez guy." I just wanted to, because like I've never seen anybody where I live wear a And
I'll be honest with you too. I don't see a lot of Aramis jerseys even at Cubs games.
No, I had a t-shirt. I had a old. It was kind of like your Imanaga shirt, but it was the darker navy with the Cubs logo, and it was a Ramos Ramirez. And I think I still have it in a tote in my garage with all my other Cubs stuff. And it's awesome. Like it's so faded, but like I wore that all the time.
That's incredible. Absolutely incredible. Matthew with a nice comment here. He says, rather listen to us than MLB Live. Thank you.
Hey, thanks, man.
Thank you.
Oh, we were in a jam, boys. We're in a jam. Nice play. Nice play, though. Nice play. Michael Busch.
Michael Busch throwing off the leather.
He just saved a run. Granted, he did not get an out, but he saved a run right there.
He saved a run.
He did. Yeah, that gets to the outfield. It's a run.
That's a run. Yeah. Which freaking Brandon Lau has been a
Brandon Lau and Josh Lowe.
Does since we're kind of on the topic, we were talking earlier about the trade deadline and we're playing the Rays. Do you guys think the Rays send off guys like Diaz, and I've even heard a Rose Arena, which I feel like he was
they were talking about trading a Rose Arena during the offseason.
Yeah, which I mean, look, if you look right, he's batting 172.
That's why.
You've got Brandon Lau batting 198. He's another guy. Like that would be a Rays thing to do.
Lau's weird though, because Lau will bat like 200, but he'll hit like 25.
Did he smack like 40 home runs one season just randomly?
I don't know if it was
or
40,
like
it was I think it was at least 30. Yeah,
it was something crazy. And then you've got a guy like Yandy. Like I would be surprised if Yandy Diaz was not shipped by the trade deadline.
2021, Brandon Lau had 39 home runs and 99 RBIs. And he finished 10th in MVP voting that year.
I remember that because he had an MLB The Show card that year, and it's just like Brandon Lau. And then I was like, what the crap?
I mean, he still had a pretty solid year last year. He was a 771 OPS player with 21 bombs and 68.
Yeah, that's not bad.
And only 109 games. Imagine if he plays the whole season. If he plays the whole season, that's a 30 home run campaign.
That's impressive.
Crazy. Darren said he's checking out eBay for Davey Lopez and Chico Walker jerseys. Nice. After the game. Why wait until after the game? Do it now. I'll join you. Let's get weird. Who's an eBay jersey that we want to find? This is what we're going to do on Cubs on Tap now. Who's an eBay jersey that you're trying to
like buy? A random one?
Like a random Cubs player. Yeah.
Brian-
Of any era or whatever.
Brian LaHair.
That's such a good one. I think I've actually looked for LaHair jerseys.
Oh, go. Still gets out of it. 93 pitches.
Let's fucking go, baby. He's probably done
Beautiful.
after 6.
Probably,
Yeah, probably.
That's good shit, boys. Attaboy, Belly. Good play. All right.
I'm just
You're
looking up- while you're doing that, I've got which you Ron, you saw it. I had a Mark Pryor jersey. Okay, so
Mhm.
there's a guy which I've said it over and over. If you guys have the opportunity to go to the National Sports Collectors Convention, do it. Not this year. This year it's in Cleveland. The next 2 years is in Chicago. There's a guy. If for anybody listening that's jersey, like you like jerseys and you like getting, maybe you don't want to spend the $100+ on them. There's a guy that sets up every single year. I can't remember where he's from. I think he's like somewhere up like northeast, sort of. He that's all he does is jerseys. He has jerseys, mainly baseball. And every year, like I get something from him every year, whether it's a jersey, whether it's a batting practice top, pullovers, whatever. And there was one year I bought a Mark Pryor jersey. The same year he got traded to was it the Padres?
I think it was the Padres, yeah.
I bought that jersey for like nothing. Like I'm telling you, he had him for cheap. And I think me and my wife recently, like we bought Anthony Rizzo jerseys just a few years ago. And I was mad that I didn't spend the extra on the, he had like one World Series one. Yes.
Yeah.
Anyways. And so I took that Pryor jersey, Ron, you saw it.
Mm-hmm.
And after he got traded, I was just so mad at the world. It was awful. And so I just took it over to my dad's store who does like embroidery and screen printing and stuff. And I had the guy, I had his embroider guy, take his name off and put my name. And I was telling you at the game, Ron, the other day when I wore it, I was like, damn, man, like if I still had, I wish I still had Pryor. Like I wish I still had it on there. I guess I could take it off and put it back on. But
Pryor jerseys, though, are easy to find, I think, in the grand scheme of jerseys. Scott says, we got some good suggestions here. Rafael Palmeiro.
Palmeiro, that'd be
Glenn Allen Hill. Yeah, good call, Scott, indeed.
Randy, have you guys noticed the how they'll drop a couple of those Cooperstown jerseys? Like I think they have a Cubs Nomar Garcia Parra one.
I saw that.
Oh,
and I'm really halfway tempted to buy it.
Whoa. Yeah,
that's a hot jersey. I would
that's
actually consider
tempting.
Fun fact: there are 2 Brian LaHair jerseys on eBay.
Wow.
I shit you not.
Wow.
One is white. It's a men's small. And then one is blue and it's a size 50, which is a large.
Ooh.
There's 2 of them. There's 2 Brian LaHair jerseys on eBay. And I can't fit in either one of those, but otherwise I would if I could.
That'd be awesome.
Let me see if there's more.
Matthew, I'm actually closer to Bowling Green, but E-Town's probably like 30+ minutes north of me, which I go through E-Town all the time. Like if I go to Louisville or when I went to Cincinnati, we actually stopped in E-Town Sunday to eat. But I'm closer to Bowling Green.
I lied, gentlemen. There's 4 Brian LaHair jerseys.
Wow.
Yeah.
Online, and one of them's even signed too. One's game worn and one's signed.
Wow.
Brian LaHair, number 6, baby. I like Brian LaHair too. I have no shame in wanting that jersey. I was a big Brian LaHair nerd. Vance Law. That's a crazy throwback. Felix PA. Corey Patterson. Yeah, Corey Patterson's a good one too.
So Ron, my buddy Steve that you met.
Yeah.
He just which he's overseas right now playing. They're
they're in Europe
on tour right now. He just messaged me and said, "Hey, I think we should just start making every batter bunt for like the first half of the game now and see what happens." Like, yeah,
just see what the fuck happens.
Yeah.
Screw it.
I'm for it. I'm for it. Who am I thinking of? Oh, that's the name. Hold on, I got a good one for everybody. I just want to see if they have one. Oh no, there's cards, but there's not an actual jersey. I was looking for a Blake DeWitt jersey.
Oh wow,
that's a good one.
Wow.
Yeah. There's some really fun ones.
What about oh, my mind's gonna blank. He was number 15, played second base, won a Gold Glove.
Darwin Barney.
Darwin Barney.
Yeah, buddy. I'm sure there's plenty of Darwins. Hold on. A fun one that I just looked up while I'm on the page still. I looked up Paul Maholm Cubs jerseys, and there are way more of them than there should be. There are like 5 of these motherfuckers. Cubs Paul Maholm, size 48. They got a white one, a road gray, 2 blues, and another road gray.
Is it all the same? The same seller?
Yes.
It was probably some guy that thought that like Paul Maholm was going to be the next dude. It's like, give me 1,000 of them. Like he's
Hey,
got all these-
I liked Paul Maholm. I went to like 3 Paul Maholm starts. We're talking Darwin Barney jerseys. Oh, those will be easy to find.
But as far as
maybe
like,
not. There's just cards.
it's crazy. As far as like
Paul Maholm,
like former Cubs like legends jerseys, and as far as like players that you don't see much of, I don't see Mark Grace very often.
Oh yeah, that's a good
Yeah,
point.
I don't see Grace.
You see Sandberg,
Yeah.
here and there.
Yeah.
Obviously Sosa.
Yeah, usually if you see a number 17 jersey, it's usually Bryant.
Yeah.
There's a
Don't
lot of
see
Mark Grace
that.
ones on eBay though, if you're looking for one.
I've got a Mark. I've actually in this closet over here. I've got a Mark Grace autograph jersey, but it's one of those ones where like
Nice.
it's not the actual Cubs jersey. It says Chicago on the front.
Oh,
And,
okay.
you know, it looks
I know
like
what
it.
you're talking about.
It's mainly like if you wanted to frame it, but
Yeah.
maybe one day.
There's about 15 baseballs signed by Mark Grace currently sitting in my parents' basement right now.
I remember you telling me like your mom like used to
My
get them all
mom
the time.
loved Mark Grace. My mom had the hots for Mark Grace. That's why
Yeah.
there's so many of that goddamn autograph in the basement. It's another good Cubs
Just
name.
liked his big old pine tar covered bat.
You know, shut the fuck up.
Drove the women wild.
I found a Matt Garza
What's up?
Cubs jersey.
What'd you find?
I'm so excited right now.
That's a fun one.
Yeah, I low key might buy this on the stream right now. I'm not even sitting here lying to you. I was so excited when Matt Garza came to the Cubs because like I'd seen him pitch as a Ray. I like knew all about it, and then it came, and I was like, "This is fucking cool." And he was really good the 1 year he stayed healthy.
Yep.
Was he a trade? Was he a trade?
He
or
was. That's how Chris Archer
Okay.
got to Tampa. Chris Archer was.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Because Archer was a former Cub.
This is a fun one here from Darren. He says, Bobby Denier. We met Bobby Denier.
Yeah.
At Cubs
Super
Con.
nice guy too, because like
Super nice guy.
Didn't Joey, like- Joey said-
mouth.
because like Joey said, aren't you like it wasn't
He
Who do you
thought
think
he
he
was.
was?
Oh, I don't remember who he
He
thought.
thought it was. Yeah.
I don't
because
remember
like
who he
his
thought it
wife was standing
Yeah.
there too, and he started talking up at the bar with him, and we're just like, oh my god, this guy's
hilarious.
this guy's probably about to punch Joey for talking to his wife, and then he just comes over and sits with us and starts chilling.
Yeah,
It was
he
awesome.
came and took a picture, and we bullshitted him for a little bit. It was cool.
He was a nice guy.
Oh, I can't spell for shit right now, boys. This isn't good. The Four Roses is starting to speak. I found a Bobby Denier Cubs baseball jersey. Shut the fuck up. I'm so excited right now. It's a BP jersey too, which is kind of cool. So it's the blue Cubs jersey with the red letters and numbers on the back, but it's like mesh material.
That's pretty cool.
Interesting. That is pretty cool.
Best offer. Do I make an offer on it though? That's the real question. What size is it though? I don't know what size. Oh, I can't fit that. I'm a fat ass.
Dang, that's pretty cool, Darren.
What's he
Did
say?
you see his comment?
I got to hang out with Bobby Denier and check out his old Ford Bronco after a game when I was a kid. That's wild.
That's awesome.
That's really cool though. That's actually a really cool memory.
That's super cool.
That'd be cool.
He
Like
probably-
speaking of that, like who was it? Andrew Chafin that he asked around about what was the car he was looking for, like a Firebird or something?
Yeah, it was like a
Yeah.
80, like a 90s Firebird or some crazy shit.
Like, that'd be cool. Like, hey man, I got to hang out with Chafin one day after a game, right around in his Firebird. That's awesome. It's pretty cool, Darren.
Oh, and Patrick Wisdom's on second base. Will Jan Gomes fuck it up? Tune in next week to find out if he does. Brad, first time in the comment section, at least that I've seen so far. He says he thinks Chris Archer came from Cleveland from Mark DeRosa. Then
From the
6 years
DeRosa
later.
trade?
No, he was a Cubs prospect. I will bet any amount of money on it right now. I'm even.
That's crazy to
Googling
think
it
that,
right
like, just going back and thinking of former prospects that never got called up. As far as there's Chris Archer, Dontrell Willis.
Yep.
Are you-
wasn't Hanley Ramirez a former Cub? Like or was he not? Was he always with the Marlins?
I don't know if Hanley was. Hanley might have been though. Hanley might have been a Cubs prospect. So
I
here you
remember
go.
Dontrell was.
Are you ready for this?
Let's hear it.
This is a fun trade that happened. It was with the Cubs, Brad. I'm not trying to rub anything in. I'm just fact checking. The Cubs sent right-handed pitcher Chris Archer, outfielder Brandon Geyer, catcher Robinson Chirinos, and shortstop Hak-Ju Lee, and outfielder Sam Fold to Tampa for Garza, minor league outfielder Fernando Perez, and left-handed pitcher Zachary Rosscup.
Nice.
That was the full trade.
I forgot that Sam Fold was in the because I was bummed about Sam Fold leaving. I love Sam Fold.
Mm-hmm.
He was fun to watch.
Too. And he was good. He was good in Tampa too. He had a couple of really
Isn't
nice
he
years
like
Tampa.
with the Phillies front office now or something?
I think he's like their head of like amateur scouting or some crazy shit. Here, I'll Google.
That's crazy.
The Google machine. I've been on Google more than I have on the actual like Cubs watching the game.
Well, we're already at the bottom of the 7th.
Crazy fun fact. I thought this was true, but I didn't want to say it until I fact checked myself. He's the GM of the Phillies.
I thought he was pretty high up there with the Phillies.
Sam Fold is the general manager of the Philadelphia Phillies.
Oh, just raising my jealousy towards the Phillies.
Kyle Farnsworth, greatest Goldberg spear in MLB history. I think he's like the only Goldberg spear.
That's a jersey. That's a jersey I'd like to have.
Brandon B asks, how much longer do we have to deal with the punishment known as Jan Gomes? I'm sorry for whatever sins I've committed.
For a long time.
On that topic, like who?
Only one more year potentially.
Which one?
Yeah.
If the way things are going, like who's either dealt or who is either like sent back, like sent or whatever. Who's gone first, Gomes or Amaya?
Gomes.
You don't think that? Well, that's. I mean, like you don't think like Amaya would get demoted,
like sent down before Gomes?
They just, you know what it is? They physically can't.
There's nobody else.
There's nobody else. Yeah, that's the only reason. Just physically can't. Hanley, Matthew's right on this. Hanley started with Boston.
Okay. He was in the trade. Was he in the Beckett trade? I guess
I think he was.
I think he was.
Confirm that here real quick.
The Beckett and Mike Lowell. No,
the Beckett and Mike Lowell. Yeah, Beckett and Mike Lowell. God damn it. Yeah, here you go. This was actually a good trade for the fucking Marlins. Oh,
I didn't notice that until I heard Nick right there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, that was
Patrick Wisdom.
All right.
Yep. Wisdom.
Yeah. I mean, I get it. Cody could have.
I mean, Belly probably needs to pick that.
Yeah,
Cody probably needs to pick that.
Yeah, Belly's got to pick that.
Man.
Yeah, that's not great. The Marlins and Red Sox completed a trade that sent Josh Beckett and Mike Lowell to Boston. But Guillermo Mota was added to the deal, and 4 prospects went back the other way, including Hanley Ramirez and Anibal Sanchez was also in that trade.
It's crazy because Hanley ended up he eventually made his way back to Boston.
Matthew, what happened
for like a season or two.
Wisdom, the ground ball to Wisdom. He threw it.
Wisdom.
Right into the ground. Belly could have picked it, but it got past Belly.
I will say it was a tough play on Wisdom's part. It was
the turf in Tampa is also weird. So balls will take weird hops off that shit.
That play's got to be made. Whether it's Wisdom making a better throw, probably Cody picking that ball. But now you got to run on second with no outs.
Not great.
Not great, Bob. Not great. And Jose Siri up at bat, who is known for what we talked about earlier, known for ruining the moment.
Yep.
Man.
I feel like this season, obviously minus April, has been a lot of just you're on the edge of your seat, you're uncomfortable. Like, has there been many comfortable watches, especially as of late?
There
No.
hasn't there. It feels like there hasn't been many comfortable wins. There hasn't been many.
No.
Yeah. Like even the games we've been at live, all of them have been like at least all three of the ones.
Oh, okay. I see.
The back-to-back ones that me and you were at, Ron. Every single one of them, whether it was a win or a loss, was like it was a nail biter. Every one of them.
Yeah, every single one of them. So confirming what Brad's saying here, I think I misread what Brad was saying. So Archer came to the Cubs via the trade for DeRosa. He came from the Indians in that trade. Well, now the Guardians, but formerly Indians. But then the Cubs flipped Archer to Tampa in the Garza trade because the Garza trade wasn't until after the 2010 season. Yeah, 2010 season. And this was in 2008. So yeah. Okay. Yeah, we're on the same page. He was still a Cubs.
Say that. Leiter has walked another one, and we've got runners on first and second with no outs.
Yay!
Yikes.
Guys, it looks like we're watching the same movie.
It is. It's the same movie every single night.
It is.
Well, Nick, you were talking earlier, you were talking about, like uncomfortable, like so many like stress like wins and stuff, like this whole season and stuff. I had like, what's been more disappointing? Like, what's been the bigger like kick to the balls? The way this season has basically
gone
May and June, or the collapse of 2019, the last month.
Oh.
Like, what's been the bigger punch to the balls?
I mean,
I have an answer. I want to let Nick talk first, though.
I'm gonna say this: the May and June has been a bigger kick in the balls because, like we were just talking about earlier, Tyler. Like this lineup, there's nowhere where you're like, that's a superstar. That's the guy that can carry us. They're super streaky. They're so frustrating. I think the offense is probably the most frustrating thing of this whole year. But for me, it's this because I had a lot of hope going into this year. Obviously, not like surefire, but we were talking at the convention like this could be, we could be like the Diamondbacks last year. Like,
and considering what this team's run differential was last season as well.
Yeah.
I will say 2019 was the bigger kick in the dick. And for different reasons, though, in fairness, because I think Nick and I are coming at this from two different vantage points. Because physically watching it, yes, this has been a bigger kick in the balls. Because I think there was the hope coming in and so early in the year. But I think from a physical, just like the toll it takes on you as a fan standpoint, to me, 2019 was more heartbreaking because that team was a contending team. And then they just pissed it away.
Yeah.
And that was, if it wasn't for the shortened season where they came out firing and they were hot the first like 15 games of that 60 game stretch. Because remember, I think in the first 20 games, they were like some crazy like 15-5 or some shit. And then they played 500 ball the rest of the way. And then they got beat by the Marlins. If you really want to think about it, the 2019 collapse was effectively the end of the golden age of the Cubs.
Yeah. You can say that.
Like, if you look back on it, and like because 2020 was just a bullshit season, and then 2021 they were doing fine, and then they collapsed again and went on that 10-game losing streak that resulted in the sell-off. So, like, 2019 was the first, like, oh shit, maybe this core that the front office built was not meant to be a dynasty, but rather just a flash in the pan. And, and then, of course, because, like, 2019 was one of my favorite seasons to think back on because that was the Nick Castellanos year.
Yeah, that was Castellanos. That was the year that Craig Kimbrell finally signed with the team, like in the second half of the season. It felt like the sad thing is about that season was I was at the series that started the collapse. It was the Cardinals home game series that they got swept by. It was the same series that Anthony Rizzo came back. Ah, crap.
No, don't say that.
Oh, no.
One run in front of
Oh,
score.
that's right. I forgot about that. I was trying to remember who the Cubs picked up in 2018, and it was Daniel Murphy, and I totally forgot
Daniel
about that.
Murphy. But
And then 19
that was
was
the
Castellanos.
it was a series that Rizzo came back for the first game against, and they played the Undertaker's theme when he came back, and we were all excited and jacked. They lost that game. Then they lost the next game. I was there for the first 2 games, and then the third game, my plane landed. They were winning at the time, and then I listened all the way home from Nashville as they collapsed. And yeah, not great. But yeah, I don't know.
It's an interesting question.
Yeah, it is an interesting question. It indeed is.
Man,
It indeed
this bullpen
is.
just cannot get it going.
Is tonight? Is it? You think it's Hayden Wesneski next after Leiter Jr.?
Yeah, I would think so.
Don't say that. Brad has some good thoughts here, though. I'm Brad. I'm not going to butcher your last name. Skilaba. Hopefully, I didn't butcher it. He says if Bellinger doesn't pick it up, he thinks the Cubs are toast, but he thinks they will. He says he's the closest thing the Cubs have to a superstar. I would humbly agree with that. Thing A from Brandon B there. Darren says you're right, Ron, but still, I don't have a half a pack of Camels going into a Cubs game at the moment. I have an anxiety attack. Fair. Hey,
yeah.
I'll tell you what. I think right now, why this season so far. Yeah, Darren says it. He's like, or Jeff says it. I read Farron, not Darren. Sorry, we're having some fun tonight. It's Thirsty Thursday in the Loose household. But like Jeff says, he goes, here we go, time to hit the whiskey. But back to Darren's comment, like the anxiety of this team, I think it's because it lies in the here we go again, I think, and I think this is something that Cubs fans largely washed away and kind of forgot about because of 2016. But this entire fan base lived on the idea of here we go again. Because that's all it was for 108 years. It was here we go again in 2003. Here we go again in 2004. Here we go again in 2008 and 2007. Here we go again in 1984. Here we go again in 1969. Here we go again. Here we go again. Because it was the curse, right?
Yeah.
So I think the reason that the anxiety is killing Cubs fans this season is because of the here we go again. It's that, like you joked, Tyler, you joked about it. We've seen this movie before. We have. Because every single fucking game is the same goddamn way.
Yeah.
And that's what makes this so freaking infuriating. So freaking infuriating.
Yep.
I don't like when I don't know, as far as when I like see this team now, I don't look at it like from a fan's perspective, like everything that happened prior to 2016, like I'm past all that. As far as like the way, like as far as like when I just like now, it's like a whole new it's a whole new different type of here we go again, because like it seemed like a lot of that stuff in the past, a lot of it felt like a lot of it was like bad luck and just bad. This is like it's like they've done it to themselves.
Yeah,
Juice. What's up, man? You know, it's like they
Juice is in so much pain. He had to join us late.
They having a good time.
Dug themselves into this hole.
Baseball is stupid.
It's not fun. Yeah. It's not fun.
Baseball is stupid. The Cubs are stupid. This game is stupid.
The
series is stupid. The month of May and June are stupid.
And there goes the lead. No, there goes the tie, whatever you want to call it. We don't, 3-2. Yeah.
Baseball's done.
Blow it up.
Baseball is done. That's a guy, though. If we're talking about one guy that the Cubs can get from the Rays, that's the guy I want right there. That just drove in that run. Oh, yeah.
And
I've wanted
him on my fantasy.
I wanted Yandy Diaz in a Cubs jersey for like the last 3 years.
Yeah. That's why
ever since Rizzo got traded, I was like, give me Yandy Diaz playing first.
Not to like, throw even more like salt on the wound. But with that being said, and my buddy just texted me just to bring it up. Still 6 innings, 0 on runs, 3 hits, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts. No decision.
Yep, that's another one.
No
That's
freaking
another one.
decision.
How many no
And-
decisions does the starting pitching staff have this year? That's the real question. Where they
What
left
sucks-
with the lead.
This is going to be, so far anyways, this is going to be like a wasted season where in the past, all we've talked about was, man, this team cannot develop pitching. This team doesn't have starting pitching. Hey, this team needs starting pitching. And this season, they have starting pitching. And just the combination of the bullpen and the offense, like you can't say one or the other. You can't say one without saying the other. Now it's gotten to that point. I know, hell, I think Juice, you tweeted it one day as far as it like, if it's not this, it's that. Now it's just gotten to the point where it's both of them at the same damn time.
Which is,
man,
I'm not even like, you want to know how bad this has gotten? I'm not even mad anymore. I'm just impressed how they consistently do this.
How can they do
every single night the same way?
It's impressive.
Consistently piss away a fucking lead.
Like, do you remember last year we had this same kind of stretch, and I started the just lose in a different way, like lose like 9-8, but like just get out hit or out slugged by a team. Like it is consistently, we're gonna score 2 to 3 runs. The team that we're playing is gonna score 4 in the back half of the game. This is just how it goes every night. And who the hell is this guy? Oh, this is Tyson Miller.
Tyson Miller.
Great. More.
BRB, gentlemen.
You would think that I would be in a great mood because I played 18 holes today, but
This
I'm not.
Cubs team will do it to you.
Just not.
Yeah.
I'm just not. They're gonna challenge this one. No, they're not. I don't even know if I want to say like anything anymore.
Yeah.
we just talk about like literally any other team.
Well, the College World Series starts tomorrow. Who you guys watching in that? Obviously me, I'm going. I mean, I got to go Kentucky, but
Yeah.
as a fly ball goes into the air, will it be caught? Wow. Okay. Juice.
Also-
Hey, we were talking earlier. Like, who's a former just random Cubs jersey that you would want in your closet? It could be
Ooh.
anybody. Like we spent like 30.
Yeah.
We spent
I
probably
showed-
like 20 minutes. Like
Juice,
looking up
I showed them
random
the Imanaga and the Pena jerseys that I showed you the other night.
Random
just anybody.
Cub that I would want to have.
Yeah, just it could be anybody.
I've always been a huge fan of Matt Clement. I thought it'd be fun to rock a Matt Clement jersey around.
Nice.
Wrigley. Mickey Morandini would also be another one that
Ooh, 90.
Would
What was
be-
that? 98.
which would be fun.
If you say Moises Alou, you had to piss on your hands every time you wear it.
No, see, and that's the
Juice,
only reason why I
Juice.
wouldn't.
Juice, I found you a Matt Clement Cubs jersey on eBay for $30.
Oh yeah.
That-
Also, yeah, Ron,
worth it.
like Ron's
That's
been
what
going
now
down
Ron
like an
just
eBay
finds
rabbit
the
hole.
jerseys for
Yeah.
us. Yeah.
Yes,
Well,
this is all I've done the entire night.
What we don't know is Ron probably has a cart of like 7 jerseys right now in his eBay cart.
That he's
Yeah. And he's not saying anything because he's just
I
like,
don't. No, I have no
they
jerseys.
figured
in my
they
cart
figured
right
it out. Yeah.
No, I have no
random
jerseys in my
Cub,
cart right now.
Yeah.
So the one that we started this with, Juice, was Brian LaHare, and I found 4 Brian LaHare jerseys on eBay.
I had a
By the way, this is what the Cubs make us all do.
I had a Joey Gathright jersey
Oh, Joey Gathright, that's a name.
for a while.
I'll be right back.
That was my
Yeah, I saw this one.
that was my fun one. That was like, it's just not. I wanted like the most, like the bottom of the
Obscure
roster guy
Cubs.
that year.
That's me, Juice. I always try to find the most random jerseys.
Joey Gath, right? Who else did
Joe
I have?
Gafford's a good one. I think
I
my
will.
favorite jersey of all time that I own is a Tampa Bay Rays Jason Bartlett jersey.
Yeah, that's
That's up
pretty
there.
great.
Hey, he was the starting shortstop in that World Series team in 08.
who else would I? That's a great question.
Right? It's a fun question. It really is a fun question to be had. The more thinking I've thought about that, Juice, you won't believe this. Do you know how much we've talked about Paul Maholm on Cubs on Tap?
Oh, dude, we need to have Paul Maholm on because we're
5.
all tonight.
There's 5 Cubs jerseys of his on eBay. Paul Maholm Cubs jerseys. Already looked it up.
Cubs on Tap is all connected through Paul Maholm.
Paul Maholm, dude, I can't tell you how many Paul. Like he only had like 20 starts as a Cub, and I think I was at 4 of them as like a high schooler with like no money because my dad and I would just pick random games to go to, and he would always be fucking pitching. And he was good. Like that year, he was actually fun to watch.
It wasn't bad. You know who would be another fun, obscure one? And you have Pena. So now maybe the next move is you got to go like just straight like Sean Marshall.
Ooh, that's a good one. I like Sean Marshall too. That wouldn't even
Sean
be
Marshall's,
bad.
yeah, that's a good
Oh yeah,
one.
there's quite a few Sean Marshall jerseys on eBay.
How about
Not quite a few. There's like 3, but
About Ryan Terry.
all right? I got a tough one for you.
hit me with it.
Cubs jersey,
Yeah.
Jason Beret.
Can you help me spell the last name? Because I will 100%.
Bere, I think.
Bere. Jason Beret. You want to know something really funny?
Doesn't have one.
No, there's 3 White Sox Beret jerseys.
Yes, he played for the White Sox too.
There's 3 Beret White Sox jerseys, no Cubs jerseys. But there are 3 Beret White Sox jerseys on eBay.
Jason Beret.
Jason Beret. What a name. Fuck. I'm trying to think. Ooh.
All right,
I
one
got a
more.
good one.
Sean Estes.
Jesus. How does he spell Sean?
I think it's Sean or maybe
Okay.
SW.
Well, we'll try
SAWN.
We'll try SEAN first. Sean what? Estes?
Estes.
ESTES?
Yeah.
No, let's try another Sean spelling. SHA or AWN.
Yeah. Actually, I think that's right.
No, you finally stumped eBay. There are no Sean Estes. There's Sean Estes baseball cards, but
Yeah.
not jerseys. Yeah. The Cubs jersey I wanted to look up. I want a Travis Wood Cubs jersey.
Yeah, it's a
Oh,
fun
they
one.
have them. They have them. They have a lot of them too. Well, not a lot of them. They have a couple, but that's good. So the whole reason, Juice, for context, that we got on this topic, and Tyler has abandoned us, was this would be a good one. Jeff
Hold
says
on 1 second too. Jason Kendall Cubs jersey.
That's a good one. Yeah, I'm gonna look that up here in a second. But the whole reason we got on this topic was because we were talking about Aramis Ramirez, and I said I don't see a lot of Aramis Ramirez jerseys around Wrigley, which is true. You just don't see a ton of them. You don't see a lot of D. Lees. You don't see a lot of Aramis, which to me is weird. Like that whole era, you don't see a lot of jerseys of.
Yeah, or Soriano.
Like
to be honest,
Soriano,
really,
yeah.
anymore.
The same way. Giovanni Soto, like even some of the
Zambrano.
pitchers, Brown, like you never see those guys. It's either like the Sandbergs, the true classics, or like the golden era teams of like Bryant, Rizzo, Baez, all those guys. So it's like that's how we got on the topic. And that has since brought us to where we are now. But hold on, I gotta add Tyler back into this thing.
Hello, Tyler. We came up with a good one.
Which
Jason Kendall Cubs jersey.
Ooh, that would be a good one. That would be a good one.
No,
If I saw-
just baseball cards.
No Jason Kendall Cubs jersey. That's
Just
wild.
baseball cards. Yeah, that's a bummer.
Of course,
Jason Kendall, dude, I liked Jason Kendall.
You could probably customize all of these too, right?
Oh, you absolutely could if you wanted to, because they're not current players anymore, so they're not protected under the MLBPA. So you could absolutely get a customized jersey if you really wanted to.
Or Sosa. Because if you
Yeah.
try to customize Sosa at 21 does not let you do it.
Really?
Yep, I've tried.
You're like, I've done this multiple times. That's why you go to eBay and get a
That is
subset.
that is so petty.
Mhm.
Like
Dude, you know what I am super sad about? I don't mean to cut in. We brought up Alfonso Soriano. My first ever Cubs jersey was an Alfonso Soriano jersey. Like pre the red trim lettering, you know how they had just the blue block letters on the back of the whites at that time? Like that was my first ever Cubs jersey that I owned. That was like a real Cubs jersey. My first ever Cubs jersey was like the $25 Target jersey of Derek Lee.
Which nice.
what did
Yeah,
Brandon just say?
A Yachty Molina Cubs jersey because he was in Cubs gear. Did you not see that picture?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That's a good joke from Brandon B. Brandon B's a fun cat, by the way. I got to give a big shout out to Brandon B because him and I had a conversation the one night on X, just like off topic. Just we talked about a bunch of bullshit, talked about just life and like where he grew up and like what I like do on the side besides doing Cubs on Tap and like great conversation. Brandon B, awesome dude. Again, Juice, this is news for you. I was telling the boys earlier, Brandon B is right outside of Knoxville, so right by the Tennessee Smokies.
There you
And
go.
we have already gotten an invitation from him to head down and see some AA games at some point. So something to keep an eye on. Maybe a little Cubs on Tap trip in the near future.
We're cruising quickly towards looking at the minor league system exclusively here.
We might be down there before the year's over at this place.
Also, just to add to this frustration of this game.
Oh, Jesus fuck. What is going on?
No MLB baseball team should ever win a game if they have to bunt 3 times in a row to score 2 runs.
I don't disagree.
Do you want another just to add to this frustration?
Yes.
I saw interesting. Let's go ahead. Throw it all out there. By the way, is my mic working? Can you guys
hear you?
pretty good?
You're good. You're good. We can hear you.
So, I don't know.
Sorry, go ahead.
Who this came from.
Uh-oh.
The Cubs' current record is 33-35. You guys may have seen this.
Yep.
If the Cubs only played 7-inning games
in the 7th inning, yeah, I saw it.
Their record would be 49-19.
They'd be better than the Phillies. They piss games away at the end every motherfucking time.
Well, it's a combination of the bullpen pissing games away because they don't have much of a lead to work with, but still they piss games away.
Craig Counsell was lipstick on a pig.
And I just like how, speaking of Craig, like it seems like in the post games now, he's kind of just like
he's just over it.
He's just over it, and I love it because like all these shit. Like everybody that's like, oh, bring David Ross back for what? Like for what?
For the same mess?
So we can have Ian Happ in the 3-hole more often and piss everybody off. So we can have Patrick Wisdom in the lineup more than he already is.
Hey, Ian Happ has been good in the 5-hole. I'm fine with keeping him there when he's in the lineup. Obviously, he's not in the lineup today, but they made a lot of defensive substitutions. Swanson's in at short.
Speaking of Patrick Wisdom,
get rid of this clown on this roster. What are we, a fucking charity case?
Yes.
He doesn't hit. He cannot field. Both positions that he supposedly plays the best, he can't do. Get rid of this clown.
Man.
Send him to the fucking sun.
It has nothing to do with his personality. I think he's a good guy.
He's a nice guy.
I think he's awesome.
Great teeth. He's got great hair. He's
ever since he was on our Friends Over the Dingers show, I found a new respect for him as a person. Yes. But I agree with you, Juice. If we're just objectively looking at a baseball sense, I feel you here.
Yeah.
One quick comment here on the jersey conversation before we can kind of put to bed. Christopher
Wendell.
Cole tried to get me with a Turk Wendell. I found a Turk Wendell jersey on fucking eBay. I did it. And it's like the cool, like the script Cubs old school with the bear on the sleeve.
Dang.
It's cool. It's a cool jersey. So you tried to get me, Christopher, but you could not. Well, you tried to get eBay. It's not even getting me. It's just trying to get eBay. And eBay said it laughs in your face. It's so good. I'm actually I bookmarked it. That's how good it is.
Side note: these Chicago Cubs are so peak Bears franchise of watch Colton Brewer get out of this, and they're gonna make us watch the top of the ninth
Stop it.
with like optimism.
Yeah, just stop it.
No, it's 100%.
I will
with
say
Kane.
I
it
know.
looked like he's throwing a frisbee right now.
Yeah, no, he can pitch.
Matthew, I found numerous Jody Davis's jerseys on eBay.
Oh,
so
yeah,
you
those
did
are
not
all
skip
over.
eBay either. My dad was a big Jody Davis guy.
Jody Davis.
Big Jody Davis guy. Yep, he got out of it. Son of a bitch. Son of a bitch.
So Bears.
It is Bears, and I didn't need you to open that wound.
So Chicago Bears of him. Did he really get out of it? You
Well,
guys are a little ahead of me.
no,
No.
I mean he got an out. He got one out. That's cool.
Watch. Ground ball to second here. Double play. And they'll make you watch the ninth.
Don't say that.
They will.
Sword.
With hope.
Oh,
Well, maybe I am ahead of you guys.
you are ahead of us, or you're at least ahead of me and Nick. You might be right in line
Yeah.
with where Tyler's at. Tyler's ahead of us.
1 ball, 2 strikes, runners on first and second with 1 out. And Jose Siri, who's probably, we talked about him earlier. He's known
Siri,
for
double play. Matthew, it's 3-2 Rays. Sorry, just wanted to provide that update.
Oh, man.
Oh shit! Uh-oh, what happened?
I also love watching PCA patrol the outfield.
Patrolling the outfield. Yeah, he's a badass.
Makes every play look so easy.
When it's very clearly not. Like,
Some guys don't immediately get a read like he does
but he does.
on that ball going back and get there like so nonchalantly.
Yeah. He was in a really good spot too, though. Like he was aligned perfectly defensively for that ball.
We are
Because
one out.
if he's shaded at all over to the left,
Wait, time out. How did that runner not tag from second on that?
No.
no, because it's Brandon Lau. He doesn't run well.
Oh, wow.
And PCA's got a respectable arm in center. It's not
Yeah.
great, but if he hits his cutoff guy, they probably
Fun
get him
accurate.
for third.
Fun fact. Since we're whatever. Speaking of sacrifice flies, we were talking about college earlier. In college, I played my brother's college one season and faced him. And he played for Lindsey Wilson, which is a school in
I know Lindsey Wilson.
Lindsey Wilson.
We beat them. We beat them in the 2014 NAI football playoffs.
Was it so that would have been one of the first years they had a football team.
So I know he got out of it.
But they ended up being they actually turned around and was pretty good. Like not too much.
No,
longer.
they were quite good.
So anyways, just
anyway.
thinking about that PCA play. I faced my brother one time in college, and there was just a runner on second base, and he hit a ball so far to center field. It was like the center fielder caught it, but he had to dive to catch it. The dude tagged from second base. Just a fun, yeah. But I got my brother out though, so that's all that matters.
That's all
You
that
know?
matters. See, Christopher agrees though in terms of PCA leading off. And then Matthew said, speaking of Bears, though I know this is a Cubs cast, isn't it great that so many people say Caleb would avoid the Bears? How much he's embraced this team? He's so pumped.
You got 2 of the 3 Bears guys on this show.
That's true. It's true. Yeah, there's a heavy Bears on tap presence. And Quentin's a big Cubs fan too. So
Yeah.
by default, he's a Cubs on tap guy by association. So yeah, I'm excited for football season. I'm not wishing away baseball season because I love baseball season, even though it's mentally torturing me right now. But I am
the one thing,
rather excited.
honestly, like I'm at the point right now, the way this is going, like I'm looking forward to the home run derby.
Oh, don't say that.
Like I'm looking
Oof.
forward to the home run derby.
That's a whole month into the future.
I know, but it's just like looking
It's
at
not-
what's
yeah.
going on. Like, I mean, it's a 1-run game. It's a 1-run game right now, and it's just like
Feels like 10.
Zero.
It feels
And it
hopeless.
feels,
Yeah.
it feels hopeless. Yep.
Feels fucking hopeless.
By the way, hey Juice, we were talking earlier. Are you going to any games next week?
I'm gonna try to go to that game on Monday because all you
Okay.
guys are going.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna
We'll
see
be there.
if I can swing it.
Nice,
Hell yeah.
nice.
Super side note, Juice, while we're on the topic too. We got to catch you up on everything because you joined us late. I did my best Tyler impression.
Yeah, it was pretty
today.
good.
Okay.
Was it good, Tyler? Like, you have to be the expert judge here.
It was like, especially for your first one, you really came from down within. Like I could tell you because it comes from up around in here.
Uh-huh.
You
It
know,
really does.
and you just
it really does.
just-
It's like right here.
yeah. You
So,
got it.
I did my Shota call impression, Juice.
Oh, you did the Shohei Minagi.
I did it. Well, because I'm going to the game on Saturday. So my cousin and his wife are in town from Atlanta. They're diehard Braves fans, but his dad's a Cubs fan. They grew up here. So, and he hasn't been to Wrigley since they've done all the renovations. And his wife, who's a really big baseball fan, she actually grew up a Nationals fan because her dad was in the military, so they moved around a lot, but they were in DC for a while. She's like, I want to go to Wrigley, like so badly. So we're going on Saturday. We're sitting in the bleachers. They're getting the full experience. Very excited about it. But it's Shota day. He's pitching on Saturday. They just announced the probables because Friday is going to be Wicks replacing Brown in the rotation, and it'll be Shota on Saturday. And so I was telling them, and then I did my little shh, and we got down there and did it.
It was good.
It was good.
It was good.
Which, by the way,
very good.
I rocked the Shota Mania shirt on Sunday at the Cubs game.
Saw that.
I just want to warn you guys, if you ever do
Black
get a
is a
shirt
bad
like
color.
black is a bad choice in June and July. I'll just say that.
Yeah.
And I learned because I thought it was only going to be like me and my wife both. Like we thought it was only going to be like high 70s and kind of cloudy, and it was hot as balls.
It was steamy, bitch. That's the nice thing about this weekend here in Chicago. It's only Friday, Saturday. It's only supposed to be like 75 degrees. But Tyler, I hope you guys are ready. It's going to be
Monday,
like
94
degrees. Yeah. Like every day you're here, it's going to be at least 90 degrees.
And they just on a side note, y'all are probably seeing it right now. They showed a clip of Justin Steele just like hunched up, like that's just like the current movie.
Yeah,
right
I'm watching it right now. Yeah,
yeah.
That's
Who was
it?
Yeah.
Who
like
was it
Monday,
2 nights
Tuesday
ago? Was it Javier Assad that looked?
Yeah.
And he was
yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think either Monday or Tuesday during the day, I think we're gonna go down to like check out the beach and stuff because like
do it.
we're like maybe a 10-minute walk from Wrigley where we're staying. But I think maybe one day we'll check out the beach and just during the day.
Do it.
Yeah, go to
the beaches are fun, man.
But that's the one thing I checked.
Like, or you can go to what's that, Montrose?
You can go to Oak Street, Montrose, North Ave. If you want a more quiet experience at the beach, I would recommend Ohio Street Beach.
Yeah.
It's smaller, but there's much less people there. It's a
right.
little closer to Navy Pier, so if you want to do some real touristy shit, you can.
I got you.
Yeah.
Ohio Street Beach.
Yes, Ohio Street Beach.
Yeah.
Matthew, maybe with the comment of the night. This one's getting a gold sticky star. Jed could fix this. Just do it.
He could, but have they earned the right?
Change the could to should. Jed should fix this.
Has this team earned the right to have this fixed?
Have we, the fan base, earned the right for it to be fixed?
But that's not the question. Because they're not looking, no ownership or no GM like Jed Hoyer looks at it as, I need to fix this for the fans. They just don't do that. I'm sorry to burst anybody's bubble.
There's not one move. There's not like one or two moves. I feel like they can make by the deadline.
4 moves.
Yeah, I was to say that's like the frustrating part is like this. Like if you think this season, if people think like this season, like there's gonna like, and we've talked about it earlier, like as far as like there just needs a change, like a change needs to happen. But like if you think that this season, as far as like whether that change is calling up the prospect and just saying, screw it, let's just throw all these prospects out there. Let's just see how good this farm is and blah, blah, blah. But like, as far as like a change to like, for this team to possibly turn around and be a playoff, like wild card, possible playoff contender.
Oh my God.
It's not happening. And that's how the game ends.
Of course. That's so
Cub.
And that's,
what is it? A line drive tag out?
Double play.
Just a fucking all-star play by the shortstop. Yeah, double play to end the game. That's fucking brutal, man.
Which is hilarious because if that gets through, I mean, Bush is probably at third.
No,
Hey,
let him rock.
You
Rally
want to
caps
know
do not work.
the I will say, look at it this
Good
way.
shit.
We only had to watch like 2 hours and 20 minutes of this.
Which
It
is
was a
nice.
quick game.
Yeah, it was quick.
It was quick.
Well,
Well,
I mean,
because
no,
Steele cruised.
The Cubs don't score, so every game seems quick.
Yeah.
And you said it, Ron, not to just say this because he's a friend of the show, but like he was freaking cruising to the point where like just any sign of an offense. This is one of those comfortable wins, Nick, that you and I was talking about earlier that have rarely happened this season, if
They
at
don't
all.
have to,
Like
yeah.
this, the way he started, this should have been one of those easy wins.
Yep.
God,
Yeah, but they can't score more than
you're right.
2 runs and by
Yeah.
bunting. They literally need
Yeah.
to bunt to score runs.
Yeah, well, that's what I was telling you.
So
We were talking
pathetic.
earlier. A buddy of mine had messaged me earlier and said maybe we should just say screw it and bunt like for the hurt.
It's just
For
so
the whole like
pathetic
first half of the
that
game. Everybody just screw it. Like, yeah, I mean, what's the worst that could happen?
they're so pathetic.
Like, man,
You know what also is pathetic too?
and like
You know when this team's playing really fucking bad? When we as the Cubs on tap account like have maybe 2 to 3 highlights a game to tweet. That's what
Yeah.
you know. Like truly.
Or
I know it's a good game for the Cubs when I'm like stuck to the phone because it's highlight after highlight after highlight. Tonight, 3 highlights.
Hey,
the Cubs media team. put
it's
out.
funny you say that because do you guys ever listen to the radio calls?
all the time.
There's
all the time.
times where they've had to like just find random crap for like
Yeah.
the catch of the game or the toast of the game, and it's like, which obviously tonight was Justin Steele, but like
Dude,
it's funny listening to Pat and Ron just try to figure out like I don't think there's really been any.
My favorite thing about the radio broadcast is the laughter from Paul Zarang and Zach.
Paul-
Zaid in the back.
Yeah, in the background.
It's the
Yeah,
fucking best. When you hear them cackle behind the
Yeah.
mic is the best thing about the radio broadcast. Like when Pat and Ron get in the groove where they're
I
just
wish
like
that
cracking jokes back and forth,
It's
and all
so
you
lit,
hear is
yeah.
the
I wish you could put a camera. I wish you could put a camera in there and just watch the broadcast, like the radio broadcast.
like as like a little like window, like a
Yeah,
window,
just like a little window you
type
can
thing.
watch. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, it's excellent. But like Brandon B says here, though, wasted opportunities. Jeff says he hates the Rays. Have teams like the Cubs trying to win without
3 hits.
Pathetic. Yeah.
3 hits.
Yeah, bunts, boys, bunts.
Buns.
It was a
That's
small
even
ball
worse.
game from the Chicago Cubs.
And our guy Matthew that hasn't been able to watch it, but he's been listening to us. Honestly, Matthew, all you have to do is go back, watch any game, even watch last night's game, because hell, last night they probably should have lost. Just go back and watch any of these replays. It's the same story. The same freaking story. Like, you guys know if they would have tied it up there in the ninth, even though it felt like we were down by 10, like something was going to happen in the bottom of the ninth.
I like
Yeah, but they're saying-
Jay's school of thinking. He says blame Joey. For
Blame
not-
Joey.
I can't even blame Joey for this bullshit.
Yeah.
Even though as much as I'd love to.
I'm kind of like Juice. You were talking about it maybe it was a few shows ago. It's almost like right now they're playing for whether or not I show up in January.
100%.
Because
100%.
before you got on, we were talking about Juan Soto and everything. And as much as like I would love Juan Soto on this team, no matter what, even if they blow this thing up by the trade deadline, there's no reason. Like, why would Juan Soto? Why would anybody? Why would they want to come here right now when like one, the Yankees are going to be able to pay him whatever. I don't care what their owner says about, oh, we're not going to have enough money, blah, blah, blah. Like they're going to ask family and friends and even the fans and they'll friggin' donate, whatever. They're going to be able to pay as much as Chicago would pay. Why would they want to come to this right now? Why? Because like it's a shit show right now.
It is.
It is.
And like I said
Man,
earlier,
it's just
I'm not even mad. I'm just impressed at this point.
like I would love to hear Oz again. I'd love to hear, like, like you see the post of like the Sox post game
Yeah.
shows. Like, I would love an Oz again type. I would, you know what? Like, they've got it on here right now. They've got.
What is this? Did you see
Carlos
his clip the other night? What is this?
Yeah.
A cactus. He's like, I'm
I
going to
wish-
sit on this because that's going
I
to feel
saw
better than watching this.
It's
team.
like, you know what they should start doing? Cole Wright should start instead like, and I like Carlos Pena, but like they should just start having random guests. Like throw in Jake Arrieta, John Lester, Carlos Zambrano. Just let them all like just vent. Get on, even though who knows, they may not even be watching.
They might not even want to
like,
do this bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Lower Emrock says marquee crew digging for coverage material, reshaping the old chatter. Those dudes are becoming some magicians. Speaks tears them up on Sundays on the score, says Matthew. If you listen to Hit and Run, he does not hold back. Scott says Bozo the Clown should throw out the first pitch the next home game.
Hey, Scott, real quick. I don't think Patrick Wisdom is eligible to throw out the first pitch.
No.
Lamrock says Cole Wright's disgusted. I'm disgusted too. It just you haven't seen that. Rossi wouldn't hesitate to comment. Yeah, that's true. David Ross would be electric. Right
Yes,
now. They're getting fired.
Kaplan right now. Listen, I would love to hear Kaplan on
Kaplan
here ranting right now. I would pay. Like, I know he's got, and we'll probably be able to hear it like later tonight. But like,
yeah, take that.
God,
they stink.
Yeah, it's bad.
Like Pete Alonso doesn't fix this. Vladdy Guerrero doesn't fix this.
No.
You insert name. It doesn't fix this. Like
the Cubs have played 28 one-run games. And they're 13-15, and that's why they're 33-36.
That's also why. And it's also why you can tell they're not good, because when you play that many one-run games, you're not a good baseball team.
No, you're not
right now.
What what I saw today? I saw from Brendan Miller over at CHGO Cubs. He tweeted out the quote from Jed Hoyer following the 2022 season about really good teams blow teams out.
Oh yeah,
and this Cubs team is not doing that.
Yeah, I mean,
no, like you win the games you're supposed to win. God, like, and you've got St. Louis coming in this weekend, and it's like none of us, even Shota. Like, you're gonna go see Shota on Saturday. Wouldn't surprise me. Like, if it was just another one of those like Atlanta starts where he comes in, pitches his ass off, and then there's
they blow
no run ball game, and the next thing you know, it's a 4-0 game, and the Cubs lose. It's just
He Matthew asks who gave up the runs. Leiter gave up some of the runs, and who else gave up the runs? That was it, right? Wasn't it all Leiter?
I believe so. Yeah, because it all happened.
I think so.
Yeah, so it was all.
Thanks to
Lamrock says, "Have a good night. Thanks for the show."
Hey, thanks for jumping on. Thanks for jumping on.
And gentlemen, while we're on the topic of it, I do want to turn attention to the end of this series. I think we've bitched and ranted enough tonight. I think that covers what we would have done for a normal show.
Yeah, I'm going to let you guys do post game. I want to make one last comment. I'm going to jump off if you don't mind.
Sure.
I got to get going. I got something going. I'm just going to say, like, my final thoughts for tonight: lose differently tomorrow. If you're going to lose differently. And this is a great time to get out, because I don't like this guy who just jumped in the shirt. So goodbye.
Bye, cheers.
Oh man.
Oh Jesus, Joey, we can't even hear you. Where are you even at right now?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can now.
I don't want to get in trouble with the feds or with the local authorities, but this team fucking sucks.
Well,
that's it. That's all. I'm driving.
That's all you have.
I'm trying to
All
get out of my mom's driveway right now.
We'll throw you in the backstage here for a few minutes then. Yeah, gentlemen. I mean, I kind of just want to look ahead. Like, I don't even want to talk about the series because it was the same old movie. Like, I think we can sum it up in that verbiage. It's the same old movie at this point. So, guys, what the fuck needs to change because now they're about to get on an airplane here in what, an hour and a half, we'll call it. You got a 2-hour flight home from Tampa, a little over 2 hours, to Chicago, quick night's sleep, and then you're back at it for a 120 game tomorrow against the Cardinals. Like, they got to rebound hella fucking quick. Wicks is on the bump. I mean, what's the recipe here, gentlemen? What the hell needs to happen on Friday for us to feel good about this team moving forward?
I don't feel good about this team moving forward. I mean, period. We are. I don't know how quick this updated. We're either 7.5 games back or probably about to be 8 or 8.5 games back.
That sounds
playing
about
in a
right.
playing a team this whole month up until not counting the Brewers series at the end of the season.
7.5 is current, Tyler, because the Brewers were off today.
Okay, well, probably going to be 8. But you had this month where you're playing every team except for the Brewers at the end of the season, at the end of the month, that is below 500, and they have shown like I'm done with. There's no more. Things are going to get rolling. The numbers are going to show up, and blah blah blah. The offense is going to pay. This is what this team is. So as far as looking forward, what needs to happen? I think this series, like this weekend series, and I'm sure we probably said it last series too. Like they lose this series, Mike Tauchman. What can we get from Mike Tauchman? And whoever else. Like I don't know what else. I don't know what else there is. Like what because there's not one thing that fixes this. So yeah. I think this weekend series is basically like your it's like your tipping, it's your boiling point or whatever you want to call it. It's the point where like
it's your Super Bowl.
It is. It really is. Like every series that we lose from going forward is just like another series that we could have at least, I don't know, got something for one of these players like a Mike Tauchman or whoever. I don't know if that answers your question. It just
no, but I hear.
I don't know what
I agree with you though. They need to play like that. They need to play like every next series is their Super Bowl. Because if you don't start playing like that, this 7.5 games is going to turn into 12.5 by the end of June at this pace. Yeah. Because the Brewers show no sign of stopping right now.
Yeah. Like you can't win a series. You can't win a division. It's like we said at the beginning of the year, you can't win a division in April, May, or June, but you can lose one in April, May, and June. And this is, it's happened. It's happened.
I hate this.
And it's sad because they're almost going to have to do what they did last year, where they're playing to keep the team together, not to sell. And like, you didn't have to be in this position, but that's what they're going to have to treat these games like. Do we want to save ourselves from a big sell-off? Or because I don't see them adding. Why would they add right now? Like, why?
That's a good point, Nick. Why would they add? Because why are you going to trade your assets that you have to maybe not even make the playoffs?
Exactly. Why would
so
you
hell,
maybe lose
maybe say like you land the plane tonight, and you know what? Screw it. We've talked about the farm so much. Call up all these guys. What's the worst? Give them a little major league experience. Screw it. Like let those guys that we've been talking about, throw them in there, or so I don't know, or trade them. Do something, because like this just.
Yeah, you got.
We're not even halfway through the season yet.
Yeah,
it's
ugly. And Matthew says, he goes, the Brewers will fall back to earth. Unfortunately, the Cubs are in hell, and I can't disagree.
Well, the thing as far as like the Brewers falling back to earth, here's the thing though: they've been consistent since 2018. They've been in the hunt since 2018 every single year. As much as I hate to say that. Like those words coming out of my mouth, like every single year, they may have like a hot streak, but they're not going to have a cold streak. Like they're not going to have a May like the Cubs had a May. Like that's not going to happen. It's not.
No. Talk to me, Joey.
Here's the thing too about the Brewers. I just want to add on to that point. The Brewers, a lot of people, we look at the Cubs as like, oh, look at these prospects. Look at these prospects. Oh my God, they look so good. They're top of the line, top 5, top 2 farm system in baseball. And now they're not even 2, they're 1, blah, blah, blah. The Brewers and the entire Central Division has had has done a really nice job of stacking their system. The Brewers just have done a really good job of developing a lot of their guys and putting them. Oh, that was a railroad track. Putting them. But yeah, that's that's the type of roller coaster we're on right now. Fuck this team. I swear to fucking God. So they've just done a really nice job, man, of once they get to the majors, they are continuing that development. And some of the guys, of course, are taking a little slower time, like Jackson Chourio, other guys. But you look at some of the other guys like Bryce Terang. Am I out right now? Oh, I'm still in.
No, you're good.
No, you're in.
Ron's dying right now.
No, you're good, man. Go ahead.
So like Bryce Terang, look at the pitchers. I know one of those guys just got hurt, the lefty. He looked good against us. Like they got guys, the pitching just keeps coming and doing good in the rotation too.
Yeah,
like
they've got time because they have such a lead right now that they can do all this.
Yeah, they can let these guys figure themselves out. And I'm with you, Tyler. Like I honestly don't have a problem with any of these guys coming up and trying to make this team better at this point, because you're missing maybe not just one bat, you're missing probably two bats, if we're being honest. And you just don't even know where that's coming from, because the guys that you expect to produce haven't quite been as consistent as you want to see them this year. And also, Joey, it's bad right now, but please keep it on the road. I'm on the road. I just went over a railroad. So
are you driving right now?
He is. He's driving.
Wow.
Sorry, but I'm not texting, so we're good, right?
That's what this team has caused Joey to do. He's out.
Suicide with this team right now. I can't. Sorry, don't do that. Please
don't do that. Don't do that.
I'm not telling you to do that.
Oh,
but,
man.
This team, man, it's so frustrating because it's every night there is something. It feels like you're lacking in the offensive department. And even when you get the hits, you can't convert those into runs, even when you get the base runners. And then 2 errors tonight. What, 3 hits, 2 errors? First of all, you're not going to win games with 3 hits. And then you commit 2 errors on top of it. And, I mean, I'm sure people are looking at Mark Leiter Jr. like, what the fuck are you doing, man? But this guy's been one of the best guys in your bullpen all year. If anyone deserves to have an off night, it's probably Mark Leiter Jr. after the last couple of years. It's just you found another way to lose a game. And that's what pisses me off most about this team is every night it's a 1-run game and you find another way to lose a game. Find a way to win a game. You guys, you're not even that young of a team. You've got veterans on this team. What's the problem here?
Yeah. Like maybe to answer your question a little bit as far as like just what this team needs to do going into Friday. Hell, is this a point where like a veteran guy like calls everybody off to the side, even though when you hear players only meeting, you always think like, oh, shit's hit the fan, which we're at that point anyways. Like, does somebody in that clubhouse like just have a closed door players only meeting and just be like, look, what the hell?
Step up. Yeah, step up. Talk to him. Step up.
But then again, it's like, is it Ian Happ? I don't know.
I think that player needs to be Dansby Swanson.
He's probably is he the maybe not, but does he seem like the most fieriest, like competitive one? Like maybe that is Swanson, but you got to take your own advice, pal. You got to start
yeah.
And playing better defense too. His defense is somewhat spotty this season too, which he's always I don't know, man. It's a whirlwind. All right.
You have to see it snatching defeat from the jaws of victory. Yeah. It's well played.
Parked.
That's good.
For a lot.
That's good. Well, I think we are about to wrap this thing up, gentlemen. 3 games on the horizon here with the Cardinals over the weekend. I'll be there on Saturday. Tyler will be there on Sunday. Then a good portion of us will be at the ballpark on Monday night when they start the Giants series. So we'll be back for that. Then we'll figure out the whole watch along thing potentially.
But hey, seriously, on that note, Ron, hey, real sorry to interrupt you. If you see us at like, and every time we've gone to a game, we've run into guys that have stopped and talked to us. Like if you see me, Ron, any of us out like at games and stuff, stop, talk to us, man, have a beer with us, whatever. Like we will, love talking to you guys like at Murphy's or wherever else. Like like, come say hey, come have a beer with us. Like it's always nice to, vent, have other people, just vent to us if you want to. Screw it.
That's
It's-
a lie. That's a lie. Tyler is very mean.
Oh, whatever.
it's all kinds of fun when you meet Cubs on Tap out at the ballpark. But gentlemen, everybody knows the drill. Cubbies on Tap on the socials. Joey knows nothing. Loose on Tap. Nick _ on Tap. Teddy Freddy 70 and Juice on Tap. We got all 5 of us in this live stream here tonight. Cubs lose another series. Are we surprised? Probably not. Thankfully, Joey wore pants, as Darren clearly points out for us here. And things are all good in the neighborhood. On Tap Sportsnet at On Tap Sportsnet on the socials, www.ontapsportsnet.com. Follow What's on Tap in Chicago sports. Gentlemen, this was fun, despite a loss. This was fun. It's always good to see you guys. I will see you, Tyler, in the next couple of days. And to the other beautiful gentlemen on the show right now, Joey, Nick, I hope to see you guys in the very near future as well. But what do you say, boys? We get out of here the only way to know how it comes on tap?
Fuck this team.
F baseball
fuck,
right now.
Fuck
Like,
fuck baseball. Fuck
is
this
not
team. Fuck
fun
everything.
right now. Just and Joey, don't run into a train or something while you're driving on. I think I heard you say you're driving on the railroad tracks. Like, don't run into a train, man. It's
Yeah.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
baseball sucks though.
But also, starting tomorrow, well, every day, but starting tomorrow especially, fuck the Cardinals.